Hello, my beautiful badgers. Messi Coda back again with another live dev interview, this time with Aquarius Max and this fantastic fantasy series of environments for Unity, including high elves, dark elves, orcs, and fae environments for everyone. This interview took place on my live Twitch stream, allthews.twitch.tv/themessycoda, where you can catch me on Saturdays having wonderful live dev interviews just like this one. So sit back and join. I'll see you all in a second. Everyone's sitting at home in front of your microwave PCs, your Google Watches, your Alexa PCs of the future. Give a warm and messy welcome to Captain Spoiler Extraordinaire. Extraordinaire? That's a new word. Aquarius Max.
That's an interesting word tonight. I like this.
Now, there's a rumor, Aquarius Max, that you're teaming up with someone. What's this about?
Don't believe those rumors. They're definitely true. Yeah, I'm teaming up with some lovely artist who has a very similar style to mine, but in more of a fantasy way, and I am in more of a medieval way. And because it's been enough time, I can tell people I'm teaming up with Shadowed Souls Studios. As we all know, Etonix runs that, so it's one of his artists is helping me out. So.
Tonix is in the chat.
Tonix is in the chat. Shadowed Souls is a nice company I've been working with for a while here and there, and they're slowly growing in the asset store. So it's going to be nice to see how things grow and evolve. But this fantasy series, as we're seeing this beautiful Dark Elves pack video right now, this is a nice series that I'm really diving deep into. And the pack I'm working on is the Ultimate Workshops props pack. So it's just everything that these kits need for like crafting stations, workshops, like interior props and stuff like that. We're building together in one. I'm still going to update these packs with little things on my own here and there.
It's because you always
just
having this packs. You don't stop.
Having this massive like workshops props pack separate so people can buy, and if they don't even own the fantasy series, they can still use it as standalone. We're trying to really make that one-stop shop kind of pack. Same thing with these fantasy series packs. Anybody who's been watching us on Twitch, or anyone who hasn't been watching Messi on Twitch, and you're fairly new here, it was about 5 years ago, Messi interviewed me on the Ultimate Fantasy Creator Kit.
Beautiful kit.
And
beautiful kit.
What was that?
Beautiful kit.
It was a beautiful kit. Now I don't think it's a beautiful kit because myself, I see all the ifs, ands, and buts about it and this and that.
Hey, if the quality of your ability 5 years later was the same as it was 5 years ago, you'd be in problems. You'd have troubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so that kit needed an update. It was too big to update. There's too many just craziness. 7,000 prefabs is just way too high of a number to say. So this fantasy series packs that we're seeing here were dedicated to basically updating the Ultimate Fantasy kit, but instead of one massive Ultimate kit that I can only fit a maximum of 6 gigabytes in Unity package, and then if someone buys the pack and has very poor internet speed, they're never going to be able to open the pack. I decided to just do it all in 2 separate packs, separate the factions, so that way, depending on what people are building for their games, they don't have to get all of them. I'd like you to get all of them, use them all together. They work really great combined, but you don't have to. You could choose, hey, I want dark elves and high elves, or I want orcs and dark elves, or fae and nothing. So yes.
And what I love about that is that it's so easy to then maintain. Because
exactly, yeah, that's the big thing for sure.
I love you, but 7,000 prefabs is a lot to import into my project when I don't want it all, or if I'm trying to keep track of where things are, and I can't even imagine what it's like for the asset creator to do that. And everyone remembers Messi keep on telling off Max. How on earth are you expected to make any money?
Yeah, I mean, with that said, this next pack that's coming up is going to be pretty expensive. So and it's my personal ETA for it is end of January. My birthday is the end of January, so I'm kind of doing it as like a birthday present to myself, releasing the pack on my birthday. So that's the plan. But I will say real quick, because I don't know how delayed this stream is. I never know if I'm watching 10 seconds or 15 seconds or 2 seconds, but the Dark Elves kit that Messi's been showing, this cave you're seeing, for anyone who's not familiar with this pack, every single rock you see there can be taken apart. Like, it's not just this one giant cave mesh and this and that. So I'm explaining this for anyone who is fairly new to my work, as Messi and most of them in chat here can vouch. I'm a highly modular artist. Everything is literally take apart each individual rock, clip piece, like go crazy with it.
There
What
you
happened?
go.
I heard a O.
Because I got to the end of the video.
Oh, I'm that far behind? Let's see. Oh, I'm only about 10 seconds. That's not bad.
And I love the fact that in my for some reason YouTube has in my on the like play next videos Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time.
Or what was that?
It's got Eddie Murphy Party All the Time coming up as the next video to play after that video finished.
All right.
Which is what we should be doing. We should be partying all the time because these are beautiful.
All right, I see this comment of I've already made a whole cavernous level with the Dark Elf pack. You need to come onto my Discord. Well, I should ask nicely. Will you please come to my Discord and direct message me
come onto the
if you don't want to share it publicly and send me your screenshots. I love seeing other people's work, and I know not always people want to share with people, so don't. Just share with me. I'll be selfish. I want to learn. I want to get ideas from seeing other people's ideas. There's actually someone who's been showing off a bunch of stuff in the Atavism MMO creator. He's working on a game, and he made a beautiful scene with my High Elves pack, and beautiful scene with like my Medieval Mega pack too. And I'm loving seeing that stuff coming together, and it gives me more ideas to do too.
That's awesome.
And I'm so excited. I've been waiting for Chipotle, and now it's being handed to me. Dinner time is the best.
Chipotle as you stream. Now, ! Discord in chat for the Messi Coda Discord. So there's a showcase in there. Now, I did actually go to the store page and I'll show you this right now. Where's the blinking widget browser gone? So I'm here on the Dark Elves page, and thank you to Tonics for doing !Max Dark Elves in chat. And I was about to just copy and paste the Aquarius Max Discord link from his description. And then I realized he hasn't put any of his links in his descriptions.
Did I not?
No, he didn't. So if you are looking for Aquarius Max's links, then pop over to !Max in chat, and hopefully this is going to work. Nope. You haven't even put your Discord on your store page.
Yeah.
The link on the clicky thing, it's the link to the asset store.
That's weird. It was working for a little bit.
Have they got it with a JavaScript or something? Hang on, let's inspect that. Is there an on-click?
Someone told me that it wasn't working a while ago, and I remember I updated it and fixed it.
No,
it's
no, it's not. You just click it. Just click it. It's just man, I love you, Max, so much, but
I love this food I'm eating right now. Sorry, I know we're in the middle of a beautiful interview, but dinner came late. So
there you go.
I'm just gonna have a few little bites right now in between our talking.
Etonics is posting a link in chat. Shadowed.games/Max Discord in chat. Thank you, Etonics, so much.
There we go. It must be working now. I just got so many pings in my Discord. Badoop, badoop. They joined.
But what am I saying? It works for me. I'm looking at the link here, and I hot mouse over it, and it just goes to the publisher page.
I mean, I've clicked on it from an external device, and it's worked for me too.
And I've refreshed. Your email is troubledstar21@yahoo.com?
Yeah, I think that's a public one it's showing.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I need to actually fix my website and do that, but I just
Chat is saying that it is using JavaScript, and it's probably because
Oh,
my Edge browser's got its built-in ad blockers preventing it. There you go. Boban saying that's what it is. There you go. This is why I hate when people put nonsense JavaScript on clicks to obfuscate the links, right? It doesn't do anyone any good. Unity, why are you doing that nonsense? You silly badgers. Just
yeah.
let the link be the link. It never used to have all that nonsense on there.
I remember when Unity's editor was JavaScript. Learning how to
Oh,
code when I first started, I was like, oh, yay, I'm learning to code. And then like a year later, they're like, oh, you have to get rid of all your JavaScript and go to C#. And I'm like, this is not good for a non-coder. What am I doing? So at least I got to learn 2 languages back in the day.
well, you know what? I'm glad that they stopped the JavaScript in it. I mean,
Oh, I am too.
I've got to tell you, I also did a bit like at the beginning. I was like, I'm really lazy. I'm just going to do JavaScript instead of C# in Unity, right? I have to say, I apologize to myself for that. And I very quickly was like, why am I doing this? Why am I? Because it was like at the beginning, all of the searches, all of the help I would find was in JavaScript. So I was for Unity. So I just did that, and then realized very quickly I should just be doing C#. It's not it's nothing special in Unity for C, just normal C#. So I did that, and I'm glad that they stopped because it was very annoying that you had some assets that were JavaScript and some assets that were C#. Really
Yep.
annoying.
So while you're showing all these beautiful things, what do you think about the Massey? I haven't really heard your public input of these fantasy pack much.
Do you know what?
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
I'm I'm an it's odd in that like when the fantasy in general. Okay, I used to play the original Warcraft, original Warhammer rather, like the Little Men before 40k, and all those other fighting fantasy books and rune quests and not so much Dungeons and Dragons a little bit, but it never really got me on the computer. I didn't really play those kind of elvish games and dwarf games and stuff on the computer. So when I look at your assets, it's all relatively new for me. I still see it with fresh eyes. Not like, oh, this looks like Skyrim or I've never played Skyrim. I don't know. I saw my wife playing it and she was a cat. So I don't know if that's got elves and pixies and things in it. I played The Witcher for an hour on stream, and I don't know if, apart from the TV show, that looks like fantasy stuff. So I played the Dungeons and Dragons MMO. It's not really an MMO when that was made, so that was fun. So all this stuff, I'm not comparing it to a game, so I just see it as it is. So with that in mind, I love it. Aquarius Max. I think they're great. Fresh, not like super real. I'm gonna say your rocks and your nature could be taken out and used in any setting. It doesn't have to be fantasy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I tried to find a fine mix with it, and also, yeah, you've Ninja and Bobin. Oh, sorry, Vertex Rage. Somebody from the other name. You've offended them by not
I know.
playing Skyrim.
I'm just seeing chat now.
Yep.
So apologies to chat. I will. Do you know? I played Ultima, and I don't know. I think is it in the same universe as Ultima Online, Skyrim?
The heck is Ultima? You mean Elder Scrolls Online?
Ultima.
Elder Scrolls Online is all of the Elder Scrolls games, like worlds and stuff, in one MMO.
Skyrim is this. Ultima Online, Elder Scrolls. Is Ultima Elder Scrolls?
I love this chat. See, this is why it's great for anyone new. I'll just say this right now. For anyone who's not familiar with me or even Messi much, this isn't just a normal interview. It's never Aquarius Max and Messi like a proper thing. We're good friends, so don't mind us. We have fun. It's great. We pick on each other too.
We've walked the wilderness together, the apocalypse hand in hand. We need to do that again. We need to do a miscreated night again.
Miscreated is dead apparently.
No.
Yeah, I literally looked on Steam like a month ago. I was gonna like surprise you, be like, hey, I re-downloaded it, and like everyone is saying all the servers are dead and like the game is barely running anymore, and it made me really sad.
Oh no.
I mean, it might still work. It might just be one of those like public things, like maybe people were just raging because like there's no updates or something. But I do really miss that game. I was telling Jane I want to play that too. It'd be so fun.
Do you know what we'll do? We will find an RP server. No. Do you know what we'll do? What we did last time? We will find a normal server, the most active one. Okay.
Yeah.
And we will be in character again. Because I was going to say that we're going to an RP server, but if we're going to, everyone's in character, and there was no fun in that. So we will be 100% not allowed to break character, no matter what happens. But
yeah, didn't we play one time and I was like pretending to be your wife or something?
I don't know if we were married. I'm gonna go that far.
No, I remember doing some strange voices, and the chat was like, "Was that your wife?" It was like, "No, that was Max." They were like, "What?" Yeah, it was great.
There was, and wasn't at one point wasn't I an old Scottish lady?
Yes, you were at one point. Yep.
I do.
That was our like 2 a.m. stream. Well, that was 2 a.m. for me, so it was like 6 for you.
And who was the person on the? Didn't we blow somebody up on a bridge, or we tried to
we blew people up. We ran them over. There was a guy running on the street. He needed water. We like dropped him empty cans of nothingness. We were like, "Here, this is all you get. Run." It was great.
Good days. Good days.
Yep.
See, we could do DayZ, but the thing about I always found of DayZ is that people were a lot more shoot first, ask questions later on DayZ, so you couldn't really get a good interaction going on. You'd get a random person sniping you from a mile away just to steal your hat.
I mean, the game I want to see you play. I mean, yeah, Rust is cool. I haven't played Rust and I want to, but the thing I think would be, hilarious would be, watch you play Ark. I can imagine Messi being like, "Oh, look at the cute little dinosaur," and the thing, it's trying to bite my face off.
Oh,
you're running around, and you're just swearing words
I haven't
left and
installed
right.
Ark in forever. Oh my word! Yeah, we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it.
That game is just so Tonics is down. All right. I mean, I played it, but the taming is so long and it is just so hectic. But that's why there's Valheim. Nice, fun game, simple things, lots of death. Yeah.
Did they put VoIP in
we're looking at the
Valheim?
beautiful Fae now. What was that?
Did they put VoIP in Valheim yet?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll have to do it. We'll have to do a nice drunk night.
For sure.
While we run around the wilderness somewhere, we'll find it. Or what we could do is make a game using your fantasy series and just invite everyone onto it to play it, because chat's saying you could just make your own server. Ruby is saying make your own server. You'd have to you'd have to manage it. We might as well make our own game.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough. We did that one. We did a stream one time. You were showing off my Poly Nature series pack. Cute little poly thing I did with Malbers, animals. It was really cool, really fun. And then I remember you just like popped in like an FPS kit, and like you, me, Warspawn, Yolan, and like Root Beer, like a bunch of people were just running around shooting an FPS while we were essentially kind of like reviewing my pack, but on stream doing it 3D. So yeah, very easy to take my demo scenes and do stuff out of them. But to go back on before we got sidetracked with Elder Scrolls and all this, when I was asking about opinions and stuff, and you were saying that there's nothing you can compare my work to. That's kind of why I like doing fantasy, because fantasy is just, it's made to be whatever the creator decides it is. You know, the logic doesn't have to fully apply. Like in this Fae video we're watching, there's a giant tree elevator inside the base of the big tree. How is it moving? Why is it moving? Well, Fae, it's magic. It doesn't have to have logic. Gravity doesn't apply. It goes up, it goes down. That's what the Fae told us to do, so it does. That's what I love about fantasy. And for the most
Oh, I would
part,
add a particle
everything in this
effect to it.
fantasy packs, I've tried to kind of not look up much reference for anything, so I try to make it as original as possible. What were you just saying, Messi?
Oh, sorry, I was just you got me excited about adding particle effects to the elevator to make it go up and down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely this new workshops pack I'm making. I'm gonna have some pretty particles and stuff.
Oh, Jim
sure,
just
for
got purged for posting a link in chat. Most zones in my game are made using Aquarius Max assets.
Where does it say that?
He got purged.
Oh.
So, because he had a link.
Sorry, Jim Puro. You'll be back soon.
Bot sniped. If you are a subscriber to the chat, the bot lets you post whatever links you want. Basically, it's like you paid money, you can do what you want.
Yep, that's fair.
so it's like, yeah, that's what it's like. It just cares about the money.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to see some of that, some of those screenshots now. I think you were the one that joined my Discord. Now you're saying that most of your stuff is made using my assets, and I haven't spoken with you or seen your stuff. I mean, now I must. Also, everyone, I'm gonna be like those guys on YouTube and be like, please like and subscribe. I mean, subscribe to Messi, of course, but if you
talking
like
about subscribing,
if you like my stuff, give me some reviews,
yeah,
ratings, please. It would mean the world to me. It only takes 3 reviews to show public star rating. That's all. It only takes 3.
We've got 2. It says here, 2 5-star reviews.
Yep.
Right. So if you've purchased this, get on there and start reviewing it. Now, there was a question in chat. Do you do streaming or tutorials or something like that? Stella, he used to a lot, and then he got distracted with a thing called real life, and hopefully
and other jobs. But now,
back.
Now I'm back.
It's back, baby.
Now I'm gonna start doing some YouTube videos eventually, and some streaming stuff, for sure. So yeah, Fresh Me, hello, my good friend. I've seen you in a while. Well, I've never seen you, but haven't spoken with you in a while. Yes.
He's done streams where he's had a cam on.
Doesn't mean I've watched.
Oh, that is cold.
No,
Fresh Meat, ban him, block him right now.
Lot of busyness going on.
No,
I think I've seen some of Fresh Meat's streams before. I don't think I've ever seen the camera.
He's done a stream where he was making his tank game.
Yeah, I remember that. I rember seeing
his face was on that, and he had
I
his he had one of his kids. That was, and I can't remember. I got the gender wrong. And it,
that's
like,
okay.
When you go, what a beautiful daughter you have, and they go, that's my son. Right.
It happens.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it happens.
It happened.
It
happened to me.
Can't tell pink from blue,
I was on a holiday, and I was on a holiday. It was my mother was on that holiday as well, and I was on the beach, topless, frolicking around on the sands, and an old lady goes, "What a lovely daughter you have." And I'm standing there, I'm like, I'm not her daughter, I'm her son. I've got a pot belly. I've got the makings of a beard going on, and I've got long hair. But at that point, I realised that, maybe I need to cut my hair. It was getting too long for me at that point. And then somebody told me, if you've got long hair, okay, it falls out.
Who says that?
Somebody told me that. So you start going bald sooner if you keep your hair long. So I shaved it short from then on. And then somebody told me if you keep cutting your hair short, then it will fall out.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I've
I
had
don't.
long hair for like 12 years now.
You've
My
got
hair's
lovely hair.
so healthy.
If anyone's not seen Aquarius Max's face reveals, he's shown a video with him banging away on his drums. And that's not a euphemism for something. It's not a different, not an inappropriate website. He's got lovely hair, wonderful hair. And I said to my wife, I'm at the age now where this might be my last chance to grow long hair. And I want to grow my hair long again before I go bald.
You should do it.
And she was like, no. And at first she was like, do whatever you want. And then I was describing the haircut that I want to get. And that's when she became very aggressive and forbade it.
Yeah.
Because she
right.
said, you're not having a mullet.
So my beautiful fiance is very, very good to my hair. She's like, do as you do. She asked to keep the beard, and I agree. The beard you gotta have adds to the features of it all.
No, a beard with a long hair is beautiful. It's that Jesus feel.
Yeah, my hair is the shortest it's been in a long time. I cut it above my shoulders, but it's still long.
But it's not a mullet though, is it?
No, it's not a mullet.
Yeah. What is it with? Why do people have this hatred of mullets? I don't understand.
I don't know. They just don't like the 80s, I guess.
Oh, I love the 80s. There's nothing better than the 80s. Oh, do you know what?
Viking Jesus, yeah, I'll accept that.
I'm gonna get myself a mullet wig. Viking Jesus. I love it. There's a comment earlier from Lynn James going, Scottish grandma, that was my favourite message character.
Yep. Yeah, she was on that stream, or I don't know. I think she was. Was that the same night that Jane came on and you were like, oh, let's meet Jane, and all of a sudden you were talking about Game of Thrones for like an hour straight?
Oh, could well be.
I think that was that night. Yeah. Yep.
We do love
Jane. Valheim character? Oh, definitely Scottish grandma for Messi, for sure.
Oh, hello. Have you seen my growler? It was playing Days Gone, and you're making napalm, and you need to pick up these bottles called growlers. And every time I would see one, I would have to say, "Oh, have you seen my growler?" It's just inappropriate humour that that no one will understand if they haven't seen Bo Selector. Now, I've been naughty with chat. So
yeah, I thought this was an interview. I'm just kidding.
Let's see what chat is saying. Most of it is just us being silly.
Chat has been, they've been good.
All right, so should we have a look? I'm going to click the link first to see if it's appropriate. If there's anything naughty that we shouldn't be seeing. But no, it looks safe. So
what link?
The game. Kothworld. And I didn't realize that .world is now a top level domain. There's a top level domain for everything. It's ridiculous. .game, I would understand. .world, that's this whole meta thing. So, kudos for getting the domain, koth.world.
Oh, that looks like my free castle pack from 9 years ago.
You need to upgrade to the latest pack, and if you haven't purchased all of his latest packs, you might win one in tonight's stream. Dun, dun, dun. Presents. A wolf. A wolf.
I was just watching a video of one of my packs from 8 years ago, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, ouch. But then I was like, it's amazing that you can evolve in. So what is this? What is this?
Koth is a video game currently in development as a graphical mud. Oh, I used to love mud. It's meant to be challenging, party-based online multiplayer adventure. I'll post the link in the chat because the link got purged. I've been asked to do a kind of tell-all. Should I? That's really inappropriate. I'm a bit worried about that. Okay. This is from Jen Puro in chat. The one who's
okay.
He was saying that most of the stuff's done with assets. What classes will be available in KOF? Currently, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Enchanter, Monk, Necromancer, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Shadow Knight, Warrior, and Wizard. Oh, okay. What engine?
You're gonna need my workbench pack then.
There you go. All right, where's the screenshot page? I'm scrolling down so we can see all the screenshots. I can see some cave rocks here. What does KOF stand for? Doesn't officially stand for anything. I'd love that. I was about to ask, what does it stand for? When will the game be released? If it's an MMO, don't ask somebody that question. Oh, he's answering it himself on his own website. Okay, he's allowed to do that.
Yep.
You've got to say, when is it going to... It'll be done when it's done. it's well, let's see. Right. Are we able to play it then? That cave was all with the Dark Elf pack. Awesome.
That's nice. Yeah, the
there you go.
piece
Look,
nice.
You recognise that, don't you? What are you using for the characters? Where was the characters at the top? Are you using Uma, Jimpuro?
Uma's good.
Uma is good. You got to do a bit of work though to optimize Uma. You know what I mean? When you've got too many Umas on the screen, there's a bit of optimization that needs to be done. Click races page. I shall click the race. Oh, I shall click it. Then I just click classes.
Is this MMO style? You're doing like atavism or non-atavism?
This list is subject to change. Human. Good question.
Human, she's doing a dance.
High elf. I recognize those armors. Non-atavism, all custom code.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you know what? Networking. Anyone who does custom code on networking, Max, is it? I take my hat off to them, and they need to be committed.
Yeah.
Dark elf.
There's my MMP2 house. Yep.
Hang on, recognize those stairs? I recognize those stairs.
Yep. That's the point I'm at in stream. A little delayed there. Now I got to the Dark Elf. Yeah, so that's the other thing too, for anyone who's been in the stream watching, who again is not familiar with the exacts of my fantasy series sets and all that. The MMP2 Medieval Mega Pack Volume 2 is technically also a part of this fantasy series. It's just not in the name.
Oh. That's
basically essentially the humans faction of the fantasy series.
Are you going to rename it?
No, but but it's known enough that if you need a human faction, well, you're going to want a consistent style and human medieval houses. So anyone who would see those packs, maybe they're not familiar with my work, like, oh, what's this Aquarius Max? And they see these like, oh, this medieval mega pack number 2 looks perfect, because it works. Because I mean, it's my own kind of newish style of that fine cross mix between stylized and realism. And I love this style because it works so well for stylized games or for realistic games. Like you were saying about my rocks earlier, watching the High Elves video, they can work in a more smoother approach for a stylized-esque world or not. And as we're seeing with the MMP2 video here, you know, there's a lot of color and vividness to it, and the lighting and the shades of everything can work for a little bit of everything. Of course, it's not fully stylized, so it's not going to be like WoW style or like Kingdoms of Amalur style. I love that game. But it still works fine enough depending on blending here and there. Oh yeah, all your stuff from the Dark Elf. Yeah. I gotta add more mining stuff in an update for sure too.
And the
but yeah, this
I was going to say that the Medieval Mega Pack 2 has got the torches, the lanterns hanging down that actually have the glass that you can see through with the candle inside.
Oh yeah. Yep, something that you've asked me to do back in the days of the Ultimate Medieval Constructor.
Yeah, I felt like you were telling me off
ago.
for that suggestion.
No, I probably did tell you off at the time, because that was also like when we were early in our relationship, and Messi was doing this lovely interview, and all of a sudden he just stops. He does the whole "ooh, a piece of candy," and you blink, and he just puts his face up against a wall. Now, I'll tell you, chat, that a lot of my wood textures are very carefully made, all because of Messi, because he's critiqued me so much, and he literally will shove his face against a tree, against like a wooden plank, and he'd be like, "You got good wood."
With no
Like,
post
I
processing.
appreciate. Oh, back then, yeah, there
Yeah.
was no post processing, nothing. I mean, even now though.
Oh yeah,
any
don't turn it on. I turn it
post-processing-
off. It's like off post processing because that's cheating. I want to see how good it is. And then you get people like I won't name names, Il Ranch, who very clearly state the post processing is part of the artistic workflow, and that's what you're also purchasing. Therefore, if you buy the assets, they will only look like they're supposed to look if you use their precise post-processing profile, which obviously
Yeah, and
means
that's what I hate.
anything else that you're using in any other scenes or any other assets won't work with them in that way. I won't
That's why
name
I
any. I
like
won't name names. Il Ranch. I won't name any names of who that was.
No, but it's true. It's a really valid point. I mean, I used to not do much post processing, and people were like, "Oh, you should do more. It'll sell your packs more." And I'm like, "Well, that's probably true, but like, you know, falseness." Now I've gotten better with post processing, of course, but everything you see in my packs, yeah, there is post processing. There's ambient occlusion, there's bloom, there's a little bit of color grading, but it's a very light amount that yeah, you can check and uncheck it in the editor view, and it barely does anything. I mean, of course, you buy my pack, it doesn't come with post processing because that's built in Unity, blah blah blah, but it's not really much used elsewhere, which is nice.
Chris is asking, why does the Dark Elves look the most run down?
Well, you think about dark caves. My lore is essentially, they're kind of shunned. They are, outcasted to the dark. They were once high elves. They kind of used to live in peace and harmony, and therefore they've just kind of rotted away down below. In a way, my lore is kind of like, they trade with the orcs, and that's how they get some of their wood down there, because the orcs are the wood carriers, and they do a lot of trading back and forth. But yeah, it kind of has that like rustic, rundown, kind of dirty look. But there's always room for improvement of a possible thing of maybe having some more colorful pieces here and there. It's just kind of I guess it's kind of how I went with it for the first release. That pack ended up taking a lot longer than I intended it to, and I got way past my deadlines of release time for what it was. So now I'm at least happy that each of the 4 packs is at a good base pack where I can update as needed. Like the Orcs pack doesn't really need much updating. Orcs pack has a lot of stuff in it. A lot of props, a lot of details, so I'm not entirely worried about it. Packs like the Dark Elves definitely can use some more props. The High Elves can use some more town props. The Fae can definitely use more unique designs and shapes and pieces to kind of dress the scenes up.
So what are the Dark Elves? I'm looking through the Dark Elves, and I've got the Orc one here. So what are they're trading the wooden structures and things?
Well, yeah, because people will ask me as I'm posting screenshots in my Discord throughout my works, this and that. I'll make like a wooden house, and they're like, "Hey Max, they're dark elves. They're in a cave. How'd they get wood?" And I'm like, "Boom, ideas. Now I got to think of lore, and I got to like go, okay, well, they're trading with the orcs because, a lot of maybe the dark elves are underneath the desert where the orcs are, and they're sending wood down to them. Just kind of just make-believe lore that I'm kind of keeping in mind as I'm doing things.
I like that.
Because they're outcasted, so the Fae, which are also essentially wood elves, and the high elves, well, they're not really going to be messing with the dark elves because they're outcasted from their own kind, so they want to just be away from them kind of thing. Plus, the Fae tend to keep to themselves. Anybody who's ever played Kingdoms of Amalur, that's where I got the Fae idea, and they had just this very like high elves, very royal kind of keep to themselves things, but like they can be bad, they can turn dark if you mess with them or not kind of thing. So I'm kind of just keeping just this make-believe lore with a little bit of every pack as I make it to kind of help with consistency for all the sets in a way.
I love these little details that you've got on the high elves. I do feel sorry for the dark elves. The more you tell me about their lore, I do feel sorry for them. And Darry's right. I do like some good orc wood.
Yeah. Oh, you just like wood in general.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
I have to say, you can't beat a good bit of wood. Google says, I was wondering about their art. Good to know. Which bit was we talking about? Because I'm so late with the chat reading that.
I think he was talking about he or she was talking about when you were talking about the person who you weren't naming names about how
yes.
their pack is only good with post-processing.
Yeah. I will not name any names, Ilranch. None. No names will be mentioned whatsoever. Yeah. So there's
also that. Pixel Shenanigans saying this pack is gorgeous. Whichever one we were watching at the time, thank you.
It was the Medieval Mega Pack 2 that we were watching.
True.
Now, I still can't help but feel sticking the label of Aquarius Fantasy Series Medieval Mega Pack 2. But I'll live with it. I won't push it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's only because you need human faction. So medieval houses, it's the same style, so it fits with it.
I'm really upset that there wasn't more the Wasteland Volume 21.
I miss those packs so much.
They for me, I absolutely. But do you know what, chat? I feel like I give Aquarius Max the worst advice ever. Now we all know the best selling art assets on the asset store are fantasy based. Okay, without a doubt. So they sell the most, and then after that is sci-fi. Okay, and then closely followed by, I'm gonna guess, cutie cartoony things, right? We're not including the low poly stuff for that, right? So I was saying like World War One, World War Two stuff would be great. More apocalypse stuff would be awesome. And then Aquarius Max, do you want to tell them how many sales, how well selling the trenches is compared to the fantasy stuff?
The trenches have sold maybe like 8 copies, and it's been out for like 2 years. And I keep looking at this pack lately too, because like I want to update this. This was like inspired by like Call of Duty Zombies, and like I love this. I love this pack so much. The music to the video is like eerie and creepy. Like I want to see zombies just come out and like growl at you. And I actually did really good too with like I made like weapons and bullet boxes and muskets and lanterns. It actually like I did really good with the detail and everything.
It is beautiful, Max. It is.
And Fresh
stunning.
Meat was the main one who basically asked me to make this pack, because you know he wanted to use it, and then it didn't. It may not have went to his full expectations too, because he was even like, you know, you should make some bunkers and stuff, and like I would like to make some more like bunker stuff and actually have underground stuff, but the problem is it doesn't sell, so I don't want to update it with the promise of people may buy it for all that work and then not. And that's the problem, yeah, that I have with a lot of assets is I have ideas now for underground areas and having like the hanging wire with like the light bulbs like you would in like a World War II kind of time or World War One. But yeah, trying to find the time to make the time for then maybe making some sales is a hard match kind of thing. This pack was so fun to make though.
This
pack would be
is
amazing
beautiful.
Yeah.
It is, and in chat, like, you know, this pack's so cool. 8 copies sold is crazy. Pixel Shenanigans saying it is highly specific. But the thing is,
well, actually,
it's not.
Wait, I'm gonna interrupt you for one quick second. I've actually sold way more than 8 copies because I forgot I put this as a bonus in my bundle pack because it didn't sell, and a lot of people have bought my bundle because it was just on like that super sale. So technically now I've probably sold like I'm not gonna say numbers, but a lot of this pack.
Yeah, but that's the
People can take
bundle
it down.
pack. That's not.
Yeah,
That don't count.
yeah, I know.
Now, I would say, because chat is saying it's very specific. Actually, it's not. Right? If you're needed, it doesn't need to be World War One, World War Two. This would work in any trenched type scenario.
Yep.
If you
Well, that's
take
why in the
out the
description
guns,
too.
'cause
Sorry, I make sure to always
Yeah.
there's no historic accuracy to what I make these because I don't like doing fully historic things.
I love the docks. They are tranquil. The docks are tranquil. I was just saying, if you omit the guns from this, okay, then what is this? It's wood, earth, sandbags, barbed wire.
Yep.
Okay, that would work in any setting, even your fantasy environment. Okay.
That lantern would be like a camping lantern. I mean, booyah. You put a tent there, a little bucket and a fire. There's your camping lantern.
So the only thing I would say is specific to the, like a historical war setting is the weaponry, which can be removed. So there you go. That's what I'm going to say on the subject. Anyone who isn't thinking about buying this needs to have their bottom smacked, and there you go. So
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people too, like you come to the asset store, you see, I think they said there's over 70,000 like assets. I mean, there's probably more than that. There's a lot of art assets. And I know by now a lot of people know the name Aquarius Max, but there's still probably like hundreds of new people every day knowing Unity. Who knows? So they see me as any other publisher. They say, okay, well, this is just like another website. I'm checking out the asset store. No one's going to fully detail read everything that I've taken the time to write to say, oh, this is a highly modular artist. Oh, that World War pack, I can take apart every plank. And like, that's the thing, of course, I understand that people might, like you were just saying, how you can use stuff like that for other things. I mean, Gildar was just talking about the Seaside Docks pack. The Seaside Docks pack, I built that docks demo scene like plank for plank, and even I have some like little.
You had some of the nails separately.
The nails are modular.
I remember that. It's mental.
Yep. We'll come back to this Wasteland pack, but yeah, I mean, literally, there's certain planks and boards you can see the giant nails. I don't know how delayed I am in this. I think I'm 10 seconds behind, but yeah, there's little black nails at the edge of the planks. Each individual one I placed in Unity. No snapping tool. I just placed them, made prefab, did it. Because I like to show how creative you can get with modularity. And like when I first started, before I became a publisher, I owned 2 kits. I owned the Make Your Fantasy game pack, which was like $100 at the time. I think it was like Zhao Lang Studios or something, something like that. And I owned one of 3D Forge's kit. I think it was his interiors kit. And I took both of those kits and I took the materials and I duplicated them and I changed one of the Make Your Fantasy game statues to like a gold instead of a brown. I just took all the materials, duplicated them, swapped them. Then I took all the prefabs, laid them out, and I just started building crazy amount of things. And I was like, I want to become an asset publisher because this is awesome. Because I was just playing with pillars and planks and bricks and resizing them and then carefully putting them around so they weren't too stretched and changing the materials, because even that's one thing too. I see so many people, who aren't really familiar with Unity or don't think they have a good artistic talent. They just kind of buy my stuff and just use it as is. And I talk to them, I'm like, hey, did you know that you can like take this one material and there's like 4 different variants and you could change their color? And they're like mind blown. They're like, oh my God, this just gave me so many more possibilities. Like I encourage people, like any asset, not even my own asset, like any asset pack you have, play with that. Like duplicate some materials, change the textures a little bit, like just tweak the colors with the little color wheel. Like it just, that changes immensely, just the little things. It's just modularity is more than just the pieces. It's the textures, it's the ideas, and it's like sometimes like these scenes build themselves for me. Yes, I am an artist. Yes, I have some better inspiration than others who are more code based, so they may not have that artistic feel. But with enough pieces that you just kind of stare at and just start like put plank and plank together, well, it just kind of built itself. You didn't do that. So it kind of like my way of encouraging people that if you have a lot or little of artistic talent, just like the more pieces you have, they just kind of come together on their own.
That's very inspirational.
Ninja asking if I'd ever make smaller medium packs of all specific things. I definitely have thought about that, and it's been talked about. Problem is, I keep having that tendency to go big or go home. Because that also, I guess, comes down to too, yeah, like the more packs I have, the harder it is to manage them. So I already have, I don't know, 50 something packs and this and that. So I feel like if I'm doing a big pack, it's kind of like more attention. So it like does that. But at the same time, smaller packs are good too. But that like, if I do a small pack and I do like 10 doors, yeah, it'd probably be good, but I probably wouldn't like update it much. And people would probably expect that maybe. It's kind of just an opinion. But yeah, I will say back to the Wasteland Messy. That pack, those were such a fun series to make. I keep looking at them and thinking about making the Wasteland Volume 4 because I miss them. And the problem with this pack is this was my first time when the whole like package upgrade thing came out like a few years ago. So I made this a discounted price if you own the first Wasteland pack. But I didn't realize that by doing that, it actually duplicates all the reviews and ratings from the first pack. And like I've tried advertising and I can't really like remove that. So like this pack here shows like well, I don't remember how many stars it were, 65-star rating or something. But all the reviews are from the old pack. And a lot of the reviews are like, hey, this pack is trash and this pack is trash. And it's like it really stinks because this pack had potential and kind of got forgotten about because nothing says that it's an upgrade. You only know it's an upgrade if you own the other pack, and then you see it's discounted like 30% or something.
That was a painful lesson to learn, isn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely a painful lesson to learn.
It's such a beautiful pack.
These are so fun. Zombie apocalyptic kind of thing. And modular. Every brick building you see here is built not brick by brick, but wall for wall, and yeah.
Which is great when you want to be doing custom buildings, or you want to be adding building features into your game to allow people to build. One thing that I had learned very early on is that, it's a pain in the bum doing it myself over and over. So
no, it is true.
It's so nice to have the ready-made prefabs as well.
Yep.
In there.
Well, I guess I'll add too, when I was talking about make your fantasy game stuff and 3D Forge stuff when I was 10 years ago playing, I spent like an entire couple of days making empty folders and just saving prefabs. And then once it came time to game design and stuff, just you already have the same thing as if a dev mix. That's what I like. If you just like, everyone has artist blocks sometimes. You just give yourself a day of like, well, yeah, I'm not really feeling it today. Let me just play with these models. And that's the good thing about that. But I know exactly what you're saying too, because I've had people tell me that my stuff is too modular.
It's too modular. But the thing is, you also are including the put together houses and stuff. So I just grab those and start tweaking those. Okay. Actually, is what I do. Great question from Bobat. What about the draw calls though? So
draw calls have their moments, of course, as we know with anything. It's the same thing I'm thinking about with this Ultimate Workshops pack I'm making. Every piece that you will all see in the future with screenshots and stuff will be separate, but there will also be pre-mades already put together in Blender before bringing to Unity for that exact reason for draw calls. But draw cards ain't too bad because I have a lot of texture sharing and other things that help for that. If it was like every piece was singly textured and everything was separate, and it was like high poly and improperly lotted, yeah, that would definitely be a problem. Your game wouldn't run. But I've always been very careful with how I manage lotting and draw calls and this and that. Draw calls are always high no matter what with modularity. That's just how it goes. But it's never been a problem for me and for others and stuff using the stuff.
So when are you going to be on the Unreal Marketplace?
As soon as I hire more help. And by hire, I mean I need to make more money to that. I mean, some people have been saying that they want to work for me, and I told them I can't pay them, and they're like, "Well, if you just give me like free asset packs, that's enough for now." And I'm like, "That's kind of a good idea." But you know, I definitely would like some help soon. But problem is, of course, I have to get to that point where I can actually have people on a payroll per se kind of thing. Um, yeah, it really just comes down to time. I mean, I have a lot of plans for Unreal, uh, but I don't have the time. I mean, I already have a roadmap that's in my brain filled for like halfway through next year. I mean, the 4 fantasy kits I made were dedicated to the year 2022, and I spent a quarterly amount of time every 3 or 4 months on each of the packs. So I released them at quarterly intervals, and that's just 1 year right there of packs already planned ahead of time. So yeah.
Freshman says, "I'm good to work like that."
Yeah.
On the pay with assets. Sanya says sometimes we don't want texture sharing. As well, like it's better to have it and then you can remove it yourself
It's true.
than the other
I mean,
way
yeah,
around.
I don't do full size atlases because then that's too much texture sharing. I do it depending on category assortment. I kind of do it depending on what I know is going to be in a small area, not a large area. Yeah. Hey, I mean, if people will work for assets, you're welcome to DM me and sounds good because I will do that. Yep.
It is now the new message written on the cardboard.
Yeah.
Don't blow my cover.
Hey, free assets for all, right? Nah.
Now,
But
do you want to share your screen and actually
sure.
load? You could load up your Unity on yours, and we could just you could
I'm
zoom
in
us
Unity
in.
right now, and I've brought the first models of the workbench pack into Unity. This is the first time I've even done this, so I get to even see how they look right now.
Right, do the sharey wary.
How the heck do I do that here?
Now, top right hand corner, you should see a share icon with a box with an up arrow.
There is nothing in the screen. There is just the giant yard symbol, mute, share desktop.
There
Oh,
you
share
go.
desktop.
Did you click it?
I clicked it.
Alright, let me make you big.
Ew. Sorry.
Is it? It's not. It's never too early for that's what she said.
True. All right. Are we?
How do I make? I'm still trying to make you big. I keep on clicking it.
Gotcha. See, I don't know how delayed I am in the scene.
I'm not.
So I wanna make sure,
See there, but if I, why are you not big?
I'm big.
More actions. Full screen.
Hey, there we go. I see things now.
It's still not full because it's still got. Do you know what? If I.
See how delayed I am. The good thing is quality's good though.
No, hang on.
All right.
If I drag it bigger.
I mean, from my computer bit, I can see a good amount. I'll try to like minimize some of this. Guess I'll need some here and there.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean this works. Can you guys see everything okay for the most part?
That looks good.
Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so
Jay's like, "Are we ever not naughty?"
I mean that's true. So this is a lot to show. I'll try to think about showing stuff fast. I did like ended up being like a 3 or 4 hour stream on my page like a couple weeks ago, and I was showing all these packs, breaking them down, and I got to like 2 of them, and it was already 2 hours in, and we all started getting tired, and people were leaving, and I'm like, all right, let's do this super fast, and like yeah, it was hectic. So this is the crazy weird flat demo of craziness here. But to show just a quick little example, back on the modularity we were talking about and how a lot of people have said, yes, Max, your stuff is too modular, and people like Messy who are like, I love it, but I don't want to have to do it all myself. Well, the fantasy series is no longer that. MMP2 houses are pre-built for you. I've made plenty of them. There's a lot to choose from. So, and I will make more. So I'm kind of doing a little less modular, less overwhelming people, but still being good with detail and this and that. But back on the whole Aquarius Max modular artist thing, I like to hide things in plain sight, and I mean, I probably should label things more and explain. But one thing I've studied the most is no one reads anything.
No.
So I have not put any readmes in my packs because it
Wasting your
takes me like
time.
what was that? Yeah, exactly. It takes me like a full day to think of what I'm gonna write in the description of the metadata of the pack, and I write this like paragraph and paragraph and paragraph, and then people buy my pack and like my High Elves pack, they're like, why is everything showing pink? And I'm a little sassy sometimes. I will email respond and I will say, did you read the first sentence of the page? And they're like, oh, thank you. It's just got to be sassy sometimes. But no matter how many times I'll write something and try to explain something, it just doesn't get looked at. So I kind of leave it up to your own Easter eggs. So, for example, this pack, we have a yellowish plaster, we have a wood texture bit, nice interiors and this and that. Well, the good thing about my stuff is this is something that in my Discord I explained. If you don't like the stylizedness of the wood, well, we can go to this one, and now it's a little bit more realistic, just a touch. So that way it actually looks nice, and you don't have to have that cartooniness if you don't want it. The other thing with the plaster, there's always a lot of options. So you can kind of color all your houses like you've seen in my demo scenes. Have fun with it. A lot of houses with interiors are different. So these are actually wood interiors. Well, let's see, I gave it yellow on the outside. Let's give it yellow on the inside. Let's do that wall, that wall. There we go. So now I have that. Let's change this one back to wood. What's the wood one called? There you go, this one. All right, boom. I have a lot of stuff to make, so it's always hard to remember which what. But yeah, so very, very, very interchangeable. I at least figured if the buildings aren't modular, like piece by piece, there still has to be other things that are modular, like modular textures, because why not?
That's beautiful. You got to give people things to play with.
Oh, of course. So let me just show you this real quick. So this is, I just built these today. Really happy about these. First look, I didn't even tweak the textures at all, the materials, so I gotta work on some shine and some stuff here and there. But these actually look pretty good for just bringing them in. This is an alchemy station and an enchanter station. And
I love how it's trying to float away and it's having to be chained down to stop it floating away.
Yeah, let me unpack this.
By the way, chat saying you should sell blueprints like 3D Forge does. We've had this conversation before, haven't we?
Yeah, I've thought about it. It comes down to time. Definitely comes down to time again. And I still might. But for now, I will leave that to Cobus, and he can continue to do his lovely blueprints. But yeah, I have thought about it for sure. But yeah, so a lot of this stuff is gonna be modular. Like I said, I'm gonna have some parts that are like stuck together, static models, this and that. But there's gonna be other pieces that you can kind of put, different books on the lip and this and that.
And every page of that book can be turned to chat if you didn't.
Yeah, that would be fun. Right? But yeah, so I actually gave this an emission texture. So if you want to have like that runic kind of like old writing, all of a sudden you have a little particle effect. This thing starts bobbing and weaving with the chains, and then it starts turning and rotating, and things happening, and these things start going all haywire and spinning and all sorts of craziness. So yeah, so that's that. I made a little alchemy station thing. This as well. Where is my table? There's my table. This also has emissive. See, I'm talking like you now. So as well, you can have nice little bits, little particle effects, little steam, modular things everywhere, wherever. and ever. Yeah, so that's your little tease for that. But back on what Messi was saying, to show some things of this pack, or packs, I should say. Let me just show you. Save this. What is this? What did I do?
What did you do?
I'm being not smart right now because it's late in the day. Now it's loading.
Dun, dun, dun.
Aha. There we go. Oh yeah.
It's all foggy.
I wrote the word thanks out of modular rocks when I was doing my stream. I forgot about that. Yeah, this is my stream file. So here is.
So glad
lovely...
it was a not a rude word that you spelled.
Oh yeah, no, none of that. So here, let me take off that. So the demo scene is a bunch of rocks. The moon is a moon. Because why not? But just to show everyone, my work is very modular. Very, 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 very modular. I have these gigantic pieces that will be blurry up close because they're stretched and made to be background rocks and this and that. I mean, or you could just come in here and you could scale it down really tiny and then it's going to look great. So that's a good thing about that.
Yeah, don't worry. Not even I would be like smishing my face up and going, it's blurry at 50 times the scale.
Yep. So there's a lot of pre-made pieces.
That's a nice big one.
Yeah, I got stalagmites, stalactites. I got different crystals.
Now, are your stalactites and stalagmites actually different and like made differently with different characteristics, or did you just do them and just put one hanging down and one poking out?
More hanging down, more poking out. A few people were showing me some references for like realistic stalagmites, stalactites, bits and pieces, but I wasn't trying to go too crazy with them, at least yet. I'm still thinking about if I'm going to do much with them. But yeah, I don't have like the extra bobs and weaves and drips and
because nobody would notice.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, tons and tons of chains and pieces and just things. There are also single chain pieces, so if you want to actually use the chain thing yourself, make your own chain link, animate it, have fun. You know, I've tried
a spline and then going along the spline.
Oh, for sure. I've tried to add, like I said, a little lore to everything. So, like, you know, what's their light source? Well, their light source is crystals and lava and stuff like that. The orcs pack themselves, they actually are mining crystals, just like the dark elves will be mining crystals. So there's like, how did the high elves have all these crystals? Well, they traded with maybe the dark elves or the orcs. You know, I try to pretend that I'm building a game as I'm doing this, because anyone who buys these, well, you're going to be building games out of assets. So it's only fair that I kind of pretend that I'm building scenes and pretend that there's a cool town to go to, or, you know, over here we're going to have the mining area as I kind of set up and this and that.
Oh, come on, let's be honest. 1% of people who buy assets are actually planning on making a game. Everyone else just buys them because they go, oh, they look pretty.
I mean, also same, guilty, but, you know, it is fun. So this is a temple model. It's not done because, like I said, I ran out of time. I need to release this pack. And also, this was a real pain in the ASS to make. So this is the actually called the beta model because it is meant to be like broken, but I just, you know, it's empty. There's no pillars and stuff inside. But yeah, I don't want to show too much of this because there's still so many other things to show anyways. Try to have as many modular bits and pieces as possible. Mine shafts, crystals, doors that open and close, you know, the important part.
Gotta have doors. I do always love your windows.
That's important. If you don't like my windows, well then.
No, I said I always love your windows.
Oh no, I know, I heard you.
Don't put words in my mouth.
but I'm saying to chat. So see, now you have no windows. You know, maybe their game they have no. Maybe they're not under the orcs, so they don't have sand. They can't make glass. Well, they can't use windows. See, lore. But yeah. And then I was messing with character stuff. So I made this character statue because I want to eventually learn characters, and I at least want to attempt it. So these are kind of a bit of lore to, shield their eyes from the light as the dark elves cast it down. And if you don't like the statues, well, you can just take the wings and use the wings for something else. And, modular statues, because why not? And you like this tail?
Modular statues.
Have the tail. Yeah. So that's that.
Those are lovely.
Let me see chat, because I haven't looked at chat in a while.
Darry's telling me off for stretching the wood to make it blowy. Tonics, the imagination of Max, exactly. Now, I love these, and as you're showing me these, a realization has dawned on me, and an embarrassing one at that. I have actually played a fantasy game on the computer.
Aha.
It was World of Warcraft with the wife, and I should recall that because I now work for them, for the chain of companies that they are. So that would be embarrassing, because yeah. The only reason I remembered that is because I used my employee benefits that you get for getting like you get discounts or credits to buy stuff. You get one game a year, one game for your entire lifetime, and it was the new Warcraft game, the expansion that my wife wanted. So yeah, and this for me looks better than the graphics in that I recall from playing World of Warcraft, but yeah, different style. But there you go. I would love to play your lore of Dark Elves. And I'm not too sure about the High Elves trading crystals with the Dark Elves. I would have thought that they would have had their own mining operation, or maybe had enslaved orcs mining for them, and the High Elves aren't actually all nice and pure like everyone thinks they are.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's how I twist it.
High Elves could be the greedy rich people who
the oppressors
think they're all that, but really aren't.
And the Dark Elves are actually the resistance. Still is up for that as well. I don't think the Microsoft deal's gone through yet, but if it does eventually go through, I was saying to Sora the Orc that oh no, Unity editor crash.
It's right here. I'll give you something better to look at.
Oh, there you go, a bit of Blender. Is that because you had Blender open at the same time?
I wanted to share a little bit of this anyways, because I figured Unity would crash a little bit. My computer is being a little weird lately.
So I was just saying before Unity crashed that Sora the Orc, the Linux open source guy who actually works for Microsoft. He said on the Discord and the stream a number of times, which always blow my mind, because you think of Microsoft as only being interested in their own stuff and not open sourcey world and everything else. But no, Sora the Orc. So if acquisition does go through, me and Sora the Orc would end up being work colleagues, in the big scheme of things. Should be very nice.
So I'm gonna show you all a little.
You're too high. You got to go low.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
Is that why you're teasing it? Because you're like slowly.
We're getting there.
You're emulating an old modem, 16K modem from back in the day, where it would line by line would be revealed.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. So this kind of shows people a little bit of how my brain works. My asset Blender things are very sporadic. There's just pieces everywhere, always, at all times. This is actually very clean compared to how it usually looks. Yeah, the process of making that stuff today. So this is an ultimate workshops props pack.
Oh, I'm loving
Nothing,
those.
nothing furniture, but props, interiors. My packs do lack little interiors, so I am making a full interior pack, modular everything. We have pre-made prefabs. Even stretching looks fine with these. Nice shine, nice bits, baskets.
I love the shine.
I'm making pots with dirt and this and that. You know, the regular pots, the dirt, you know, I can put on different ones if I want. But realistically, a pot with dirt, well, it's going to have the dripping tray because that's how it goes. I can go the extra route, which I didn't have to do, but I actually even added the holes inside of, let me get to better lighting, because actual pots would have holes for the plants to breathe.
Oh my god, you put holes in your plant pots.
Yeah. So this is the things I'm not showing people in screenshots. I show, but we're on stream, so why not? I really am going ham with this. Is the best way, as it's been told.
Please tell me you're doing
need...
lodded versions without the holes, though.
Oh yeah, no, everything's gonna be lodded. Every single piece is gonna have lods. But if I'm doing this right, I'm doing this right. You know, so I don't even need the dripping trays. I mean, you know, you're playing a game, you're like, oh, a little potted plant, how sweet. But then you're really looking at it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. There's holes in it, there's dirt. One of the dirt, like this one, is actually more wet, and this one's more dry. I actually did that on purpose, so you can actually literally have things. You know, I have hanging herbs. This is something that's been asked of me for a long time. I'm limited to what I can make because I'm still working on the textures.
Those are lovely.
They are a pain. Thank you. But yeah, they're very, very nice looking.
Darry's saying, have you got the worms in there as well?
The worms are, you know, they're in the ground. You just can't see them. Yeah. This is paint makers barrels and stuff. So, or not barrels, but cairns, urns, things like that. And I'm gonna show you guys a nice, pretty happy thing. So, imagine, you know, you're making a workshops pack and you need props. Well, maybe you have a paint maker. You know, you could use this little thing right here as like a dye station. I gotta size it up. I still have to work on all the sizes and everything. Size this up. Well, you're in an MMO or RPG, you go to town. Well, there's this dye station, and boom, perfect. Maybe you walk into a shop, and in your game you have a paint maker shop. Well, here's your paint maker shop, which is also herbalist shop. We have herbs in jars.
Oh, that's nasty. How did you do that? Oh my god, your brain. How you come up with stuff?
With a lot of brain power, which is over here, taking this leaf and putting the leaf inside of everything. Yeah, so a lot of yeah, these are all they're hollow too. All the jars are hollow. You can take off the caps. Well, not these ones, but so there's going to be a lot of pre-mades, but a lot of other things as well, because why not? So brushes, I even did the smart thing of there's two different textures of brushes. There is plain brushes, like so, and then there's the actual paint-tipped brushes, as if they were actually painting. So what I'm kind of doing with this pack is I'm taking all of my experience, and yeah, as the Tonics is saying, I'm making these really quick and just it's insanely fun. I'm taking all of my experience of like 8 years and putting them into like a few months. So everything that's asked of me of like different stuff. I mean, even the wood texture, there's like 4 different wood textures for just these pieces. The drawers can be opened and closed. Just everything. So I want to overwhelm you all with how my brain is going, because it's really fun. And then if we move over here, we have these lovely easels and art pieces that I've created, and canvases, and yeah, so this.
Oh, that is nuts.
So now you look at this and you're like, that looks like a paint shop. You just walked into this medieval fantasy-esque place and there is a mess, there is clutter. It is like an I Spy. You have the canvases down, you have the paint bits down. I mean, there's stuff coming out of the drawers. You know, it's just a mess. It's an artist workshop. So this is how you can expect things to look like in this pack. I'm trying to make as many fillers as possible. I have 3 other Blender files, which I'm not going to load right now because it's going to take a while and I can't show everybody everything. But like artificers, enchanters, I mean, you saw the enchanters table. There's tools and hammers and jewelry crafting and blacksmith and so many other things I'm not going to spoil right now. So for anyone who's been using my fantasy packs, know that now, you know, you're going to notice there's some spots you're missing on props. It's coming. Definitely coming.
Beautiful stuff, Max.
Will there be a blank canvas that we can put our own images on? Yes, I already planned on making a separate texture atlas. So this is, because I was already here recently, this is the texture, the way it looks. So there'll actually be 4 spots that will be white. These are actually upside down, so maybe I'll just retexture another one. But yeah, I actually, let me just show you a little fun here real quick. Canvas. Where's my other painted canvas?
So this doesn't look like the Blender that I used 100 years ago. Gilda's asking, which version of Blender you're using now? And how do you like the 2.8 plus version compared to the old versions?
I am using 2.8.75, and I don't really notice much because there's only so much I personally do with it. But 2.8, I don't remember what I like different about it, but I do remember at the time, yes, I liked it better. I don't remember exactly what it was about it. And Gildar, yes, this is all standard shading. So that piece that you saw, these in Unity, they look pretty similar, you know, with lighting and this and that. So I'm trying to keep it as similar as I can, give or take some bits. I mean, as we know, with Unity and transparency, these will probably look a little different than they do in Blender. Hopefully the same or better, not worse. But yeah, shading is literally just albedo, metallic, normal, nothing special. Because just like my post-processing with other things, I don't want to make these epic, crazy things and make them look like they rely on post-processing or they need this or they need that. But yeah, I'm gonna have tons of different planks and floorboards, and you know, I'm not building house stuff for this, but I did at least build this wall as kind of a background display backdrop for the wall, so that way I can make kind of like little rooms like this corner as prefabs in a Unity scene as examples to show, hey, here's the painter's workshop, and here's the blacksmith workshop, and here's the artificer's corner, and here's the tinkerer's corner. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of some fun stuff. And yes, Unity crashed, so I couldn't dive into everything fully, and I could load it back up, but it's, you know.
But no, this is lovely. Darry's saying if you make the canvas a UV map, you could have an atlas to change the pic with a shader. So you could do a custom shader for the.
Well, yeah, true. I could just do it separately. I'll probably make a separate one for blankness. Because now my brain is doing that blankness thing.
These are
Yeah,
stunning.
I have different. Yeah, thank you. I love how this looks. I made this the other day. I made the screenshot for it, posted it, and I was just sitting here in awe and just watching it, and I was like, it's nice. So yeah, I mean, expect the whole pack to kind of look like this, because that's the goal. You know, it's the one thing, like, anyone can make props. We all make props, but there's always things missing in this. I'm trying to cram as much as I can to be like, well, if I have a shelf, I mean, cliche, I put a barrel and a crate in an urn, but what's more than a barrel and a crate in an urn? Well, how about like paintbrushes and paints? And I went too far.
just as Darry said, I really like the stone walls. They're like mush.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Oh no! Should I pull the messy thing? There you go. This is messy on all our streams back in the day. Oh, and I'm like, hey, Messi, what do you think of my houses? And I finally catch up to where I'm delayed on the stream, and he's like, oh, your houses are great, by the way. This is messy. This is how our relationship started. Was just this. Of course, it looks different in Blender. You know, he can't appreciate the goodness of it. I mean, maybe he could. Kind of has a Valheim.
Hey, but
close look to it.
Tell me your yay or nay. Did your stone textures get better or worse because of my feedback?
Did you say Bob or me?
You.
I swear you just said, "Hey Bob." I was like, "Who's Bob?"
I did not say hey Bob, but I like it.
I think my stone textures kind of evolved on their own.
There was one that I showed you, and you were like, you redid it specifically because I was like, I don't like it, and you were like, yeah, no, okay, granted.
Yeah, no, my stone textures were pretty horrible back then.
But I have to say, you have got like a collection
I just heard
of
Jane laughing from up here. That's great.
because it wasn't a live stream that I called out on one of those stone ones. But I have to say now, and friendship aside, in full critique mode, you do have some of the best stone textures and wood on the asset style.
Thank you.
Like, I can think maybe like 3 people, and you're in that 3. So
yeah. Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's definitely been tough, and using Substance Painter helps too.
Oh, that day because in chat they wrote when Max discovered Substance, it was like, yes, we all remember that time.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, my the other artist that's joining us, he actually made this candle. I told him to keep it a little low poly because I'm still trying to keep things as low poly as possible in here. So, but yeah, so it's a little bit, you could already tell he just has some of that ornate kind of style to him, whereas a lot of my stuff is very medieval and standard. So it's going to be a fine mix of everything combined together in this pack.
Chat likes the candle. Google says, I really like that candle. It's a lovely candle.
Yeah, candle's really nice. So I duplicated it, made a few variants.
Is the candle wax modular?
Is the candle? No, candle wax is not modular. But I am going to make a candle maker's shop, so I'm probably going to have some wax things here and there. Competition you did was your upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be just overwhelming things. I'm already dreading bringing all of this into Unity. Because, I have to take all these pieces and these pieces and those wood pieces.
Is Jane trolling you?
What was that?
Is Jane trolling you in the chat?
She might be.
We expect the wax to be modular.
Yeah, I mean.
Procedural wax strips. Actually, you know what? That sounds like a challenge for the Irish John's next stream. For Irish to code in some procedural wax generation scripts.
Yeah.
So, John, you just volunteered yourself for your next challenge. Fresh meat challenge.
Yeah, that's a fresh meat challenge. So with fresh meat?
No, as Freshie used to do, which hasn't done in a while, challenges for betterment. So there you go.
Answer Vertex's rage question in a second by. So these ones I actually AI generated. I've actually been using these as reference to build this pack because they're just nice reference for things. But let me.
What's your view on the whole AI art?
A lot of craziness. There you go. These ones I painted myself, all in Substance Painter, and it was a pain. I tell you, extreme pain. But I just want to show you. Let's see if I can get the.
I thought that you actually had arranged your prefabs, your art models in the calling everything a prefab in Blender, rendered it, and then just did that as the painting.
I've actually done that with a few things. This I was actually having fun with though, because I painted these in Substance, and I wanted to make them look like they were actually like acrylic painted. So I actually added like height and depth and like
a little bit too much.
Something like this. It actually looks like brush strokes and this and that.
A little bit too.
Yeah, I was kind of having fun, and even like the canvas.
That's a lovely one.
The proper way, like a canvas would be. Oh yeah, I should probably show you guys too that like I said, when I do everything properly, I mean, even got the wood and the back, and like it's.
Has he got the note? Has he got the staples of the canvas material stretched over?
Folds here, because like sometimes the canvas will like come down here.
Exactly, it's folded down and then stapled in.
Yeah, it's none of that, but even like canvas, goes on the sides and stuff.
How's it attached?
It's attached.
How?
uh, glue from the mouth of the saliva of the pigeons of the medieval world.
Oh, okay, I get it. I
Someone's
accept
gonna
that.
hold that to me now.
I
They say
accept
it's
that
all about
law.
the pigeons. Yep. But yeah, so I mean, I just, I have to show these little things because they're never ever going to be seen in a video or a screenshot. And even yourself, just drag and drop a prefab and be like, ooh, look at the pretty picture. And you'd be like, wait, what's behind it? Oh, I can hide like a secret thing back here.
How does the pigeon eat if its saliva's sticky?
Listen. All right. It goes down to the local bakery. All right, it's a pigeon. It gets some of the flour. The flour mixes with the water that it drinks, and it creates a sticky substance. And as the bird flies, it spits. Okay. Now there's a paint collector. See, like here, right here,
Yeah.
this guy walking around, all right, with his urn, and he's just walking
Hang on,
around.
but you just destroyed my immersion because you moved it, and now I realise it's not full of liquid. It's just a plane on top.
Love how cool this looks in white. But yeah. So it spits exactly. He collects the saliva, and therefore that is their glue. Okay. See, lore, I got you. Yeah, I like looking at this stuff sometimes in white. It's just really fun.
I can't help but feel
Simplicity.
though, Max. They would farm the birds rather than go out in the wild trying to follow them.
They would, yes. But yeah.
The next 3 hours of this stream will be about how we deep dive into the pigeon sticky saliva lore in this game, which will never come to pass.
Listen, I will make a game called Pigeon Spit Simulator. All right.
No, it has to be sticky spit stimulator. Sticky spit stimulator.
Yes.
That's a completely
Sticky
different
stimulator.
game.
A stick pigeon. Yep, that works.
Oh
But
my
yeah, so little teases.
Well, they're beautiful
yeah.
teasers. I was just saying.
Yeah, unless you want to see more, it's up to you.
They're better than more teasers. They're so beautiful teasers. Do you know what I'll do though?
I know what you'll do.
Should we give a prize away?
I think prizes are nice.
Prizes are nice. Right.
You guys like prizes? I like prizes.
Hang on. If you didn't like prizes before, then you're gonna love them now.
Yeah, here, I'll open up a new blender so that way.
Instead of
while
oil
he's doing that.
slicks, puddles of glue traps built up. Messi, can you tell Max that I'm using some of his stuff and I think he's lurking amazing? He is
Well,
amazing.
thank you, Irish John. You're using some of my stuff. I gotta see that. Like I was saying to other people now, you need to DM me. You need to show me what you're working on. I won't tell. No secrets. No secrets. I'm gonna actually stop sharing this.
Yeah, I'm not
while
sharing
you
the
go to
screen,
your
and because I
main
realised I
thing.
was sharing the entire desktop.
Yeah.
And I'm just pasting into the chat
Should
the
I stop
links.
sharing? Yeah, stop sharing. There we go.
All right, so
Sounds good.
let's give away a copy of the Aquarius Fantasy Series Orcs. That's one lucky winner. Let's start that raffle. You know how to play the raffle game, chat. Exclamation mark raffle to join it. If you're not too sure, exclamation mark how to win. Which you don't really need to know. You've just been told. Type exclamation mark raffle in chat.
Do it. Sora the Orc.
Yeah. So you already got this, didn't you? Like the day it came out, I'm assuming.
I think I assume so. I mean, Sora the Orc is in my Discord. He constantly he's defending the orcs anytime someone's rude to them. That's why I've added extra lore and stuff too. Yeah,
People should be rude to the
I make
orcs.
sure that my orcs are nice. They're not all evil.
Do you remember
do
that
these in order?
movie, the Warcraft movie?
What was that?
There was a Warcraft movie
Oh, I remember that.
with the guy from Sons of Anarchy in, wasn't he?
Maybe. Sonic said yes.
That was I remember it not so kindly, I have to say. But I'm thinking to myself, it wasn't that bad, surely.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
Any show that works.
it could have been better. Oh, was it Ragnar? Was it the guy from was it the guy from Vikings and not the guy from Sons of Anarchy? Irish says, I thought it was a great movie. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what it should have been.
Well, thank you, Gildar. I'll hold you to that.
It's like, well,
all in good time.
I'll hopefully get around to reviewing this. Now, you do need, if you do own it and you haven't reviewed it, you've got to leave a review. And if you do win, obviously, you need to leave a review. Otherwise, you're permabanned from all future raffles.
I can't hold Gildar to anything because Gildar is good. He's given a bunch of reviews and stuff before, so I'm not gonna push you and bully you. I'd like to, but I'm not going to. Let's bully everybody.
We don't bully here, do we?
I mean, if I told you guys some of the amounts of like packs that have sold, to like know that it only takes 3 reviews to like to show a public star rating, and then there's packs that have like sold many, just very high numbers, and it's sad. But that's anyway. I mean, that's
oh my god!
YouTube, that's watching a movie.
One star, one review only.
Oh yeah.
Max continues to amaze with his level of detail and imagination, and this pack delivers.
Sicka Gamer made sure to pull through with those reviews.
Sicka Gamer's done a review everywhere on loads of assets.
Yep.
Now, if you own this and haven't yet reviewed, if there ever was a reason why you should do a review, this is it. Look, the poor bloke is on chat talking to you and he's only got 1 review on his blinking asset. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
My Scottish grandma is, I don't know where she is. I don't have one. I was trying to think of something fast. Couldn't think of it. Yep.
Max deserves reviews, guys. I was browsing asset store a couple of days ago. It seems that most new assets packs are not having any reviews.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing of 1 in 100 rates review. But if let's just say the numbers are higher than that, because yeah.
Wow.
No one writes reviews. I mean, but it's just how it goes, and a lot of us don't. I mean, there's movies, there's book reviews, there's like anything we do, we're all guilty of, even myself, of not writing reviews when we know we should. But when someone's like on stream asking you, see, it's different because now you feel pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like a YouTube video, like and subscribe, hit that little bell, ding ding ding. No, this isn't that. This is
What was that?
I literally. What?
What was that? Ding ding ding. That's
hit the little notification bell, ding ding ding. You know?
That's not what. We don't say things like that.
Well.
Yeah, we do.
But like, I make my asset packs so that way others are happy, and reviews mean more than the sales. But you can't write a review unless you buy it. So see what I did there? But no, but I love doing this kind of work. It's fun. I love this fantasy series because it's just been such a fun bunch of stuff to do, and it has been very fun to make the orcs, to make sure not looking up references, because everyone's like, oh, you should make Ogremar, and I was like, I am not looking up a single thing WoW related or orcs related, because I don't want any of my stuff to look even close to anything.
No, exactly. You don't want to even have an unconscious Now, Full Time Lord saying, I've had a thing recently where the review button won't show up even though I've used the asset a while back. I had that where it's like inside Unity, make sure you're fully logged in, you've sacrificed a chicken, and then it worked. The thing that holds me back on committing to this series is the lack of characters that will fit. Need a partnership with a character. Well, I'm going to disagree in that, because as I say, you got different styles of textures if you want the realistic or the little bit more hand shaded, hand painted, toony style. And what we saw with the Cath world, the characters from Steve, that's being sold on Tony Lee's thing now.
I do agree though, because there is some characters that I've seen that I would love to use with this stuff, but it's characters I've seen are too stylized, like fully stylized, more of the hand painted stylized, and don't fully work. But I do like Martin from Atavism. He actually took this pack and brought in the orc from his Uma, or Yuma, whatever you guys pronounce it as, and actually made like an entire demo scene in Atavism. He was like mining the crystals, and he was walking around with the orcs, and like he had NPCs in, and the Yuma characters looked really good with this stuff. So I'm at least happy that there's that fallback, which is good.
Should we announce the winner?
Oh yeah, that's true. You've been just letting them go and just talking, and
Drum
yeah.
roll. And the winner is
I'm gonna guess it's the orc.
Nick Dollars.
Aha, Nick Dallas. Congratulations.
Hit me up on the Discord. Make sure your Discord and your Twitch are linked so that it does show up that you are who you really are, so we don't give away the vouchers to the wrong people. That's happened before. Long time ago. Hasn't happened in a long time though, has it? No. Happens to the best of us. Especially when you do share screen and someone shows all of the vouchers. So the entire stream can see it.
Yep.
And
Don't do that.
most definitely, do not forget to leave a review. Or you will be permabanned. Not just from trying to get new competition prizes, but from life generally.
I will never say that, so that was all messy. Yep.
I'm allowed. So, do you know what we need to do? That wasn't enough, was it? Another giveaway.
That wasn't. You got to do it in order, though. Next comes the Fae.
Oh, okay, Nick. I do apologize. So,
in the order from which they came out, it works out. You've already done the orcs.
Okay.
It's going along the.
Fae next. Okay.
Fae definitely next. Yes.
So if you are making a maybe a Smurfs game as well, not just Fae. So you could use this for a Smurfs type game, couldn't you?
You could, for sure.
All right.
What about potatoes?
What's chat saying?
Oh, sweet like potatoes. I understand. Okay.
Oh, I love sweet potatoes.
Oh, regular potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Oh, the raffle started. Nice, nice. Go, go, go.
Don't forget, if you do win, then you need to put some particle effects on the lift that goes up and down to show that it is magic. This gives you vibes from an old MMO you spent way too much time in. Which was that? Was it Ultima Online? It's the only fantasy MMO that I remember.
There's a lot of potential things. See, this was a fun pack I need to get back to, though, because it's, even though it says Aquarius Fantasy Series Fae, it's also partial Wood Elves, because High Elves, Dark Elves, this and that. Fae and Wood Elves are similar but different. So essentially, this demo scene, this video that you're seeing, is actually the bottom is the Fae, the mushroom village, living in the tree trunk areas, this and that, and the top is actually more of the Wood Elf, high above, archers. Like they're living high and away and this and that. So I definitely need to add some more props and detail to this to help separate those more and help add more detail to everything. EverQuest. I don't know why I said EverQuest. A lot of people have said they've gotten EverQuest vibes from these. But yeah, this is like Fae and Wood Elf kind of feel, and even in the folders I have some parts that you have Fae houses and Wood Elf houses. And
you couldn't have stone up here. Sorry, just chat saying, so you see stone and silver. They wouldn't be able to maintain the weight up in the trees.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you one thing. This was a pain to make, because trying to, even though it's fantasy, not everything has to matter. But there still has to be some kind of logic to the platforms need to be held up by the trees and this and that. Yeah, it was definitely a fun challenge to do for sure.
St. John saying the stylized orcs from by Blink might fit. Saw is saying they're too stylized, almost flat shape. Yeah, I was going to say that. Um, the, the stuff from Blink just does, it's very cartoon, like that kind of flat. Do you know what I would do? I would actually change the textures on the characters to fit in with the environments rather than the
Yeah.
other way around.
Yeah, just put an overlay texture of like a dirt or like a bark or something. It's very doable. But yeah, anything I see like when it's like flat stylized, I think of like more the term hand painted. I remember back then the term like hand painted and stylized were very similar. That's kind of just non-existent now.
Oh yeah, you could just. I used to just type that into my search query.
But yeah, because a lot of people think they hear stylized and they instantly are like, well, your stuff isn't stylized. I'm like, well, it is. They think instantly that it's like, yeah, the flat, like stylized stuff. Which that stuff's gorgeous. But yeah. Any chance of doing a Tauren or undead? Well, the Dark Elves are kind of like the undead potential. So there's gonna be more like spooky stuff for them. One thing people have been asking me to do, and I've told them that I'm either not going to, or at least for now, I'm taking a nice break and not doing anything new. But people want me to do dwarves, in the mountains and stuff like that. So still something I'm like thinking about.
Oh yes.
But for now, I'm not doing any more environment packs for a little bit. Work on this props pack, and then afterwards we'll kind of see what goes from there.
So,
after like come February.
Nice dwarven mountain
Yeah.
home.
Yep.
Oh.
So
The thought that always comes to mind whenever I hear dwarf now, I always have to stop myself because it will just get clipped. And did Messi get messy when Max mentioned dwarves? Pretty much, because it just makes me think, especially that Lord of the Rings scene where they're fighting and he turns and looks at the what's his name, the elf with the what's his name from Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's an elf in Pirates of the Caribbean.
You
mean Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings elf. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Legolas, that's the one.
Orlando Bloom.
And the phrase that I'm not allowed to say on stream because it just gets clipped and taken out of context. You know the one. That's all I can think about when I think of dwarf first. It just puts me in character for dwarf. There's a phrase that you say when you're doing an impression to put you in character, and mine is "toss me," which it just encapsulates that movie for me. Should we announce the winner as we think about how I got all messy, and then
sounds good.
Thinking about your dwarfs and what I want to be done.
So let's see. Jen Purple was talking about the Tree of Yggdrasil. I forgot I actually made a pack with the Tree of Yggdrasil. Kind of.
You did.
Yeah. For Unity competition.
Yes. Your foray into HDRP.
Yeah. You put that on later so they have something to watch.
Didn't they? I remember you were so traumatized. It was like, I'm never touching HDRP ever again. And then it was like, this is the best thing ever. And then it was like, I hate it. The best thing. Hate it.
I still hate HDRP. I absolutely can do without it 100%. URP, any of that, it's just, no. I'm old school. There was Unity 1 and Unity 2 up to Unity 5. And then it went from Unity 5 to Unity 2014 or something. And then from there, they were like, oh, here's this thing called HDRP. It's in beta, and then it went out of beta, and then it broke, and they got rid of it. And then they're like, oh, here's URP and HDRP. And now any new customers are like, why isn't your stuff by defaulting to this?
Oh yeah, one star doesn't work in HDRP. Yeah. I've got no custom shaders. What are you talking about? 1 star.
Yeah, no, it's so hard as an asset dev trying to be like, okay, well now any knowledge I have from the past, I have to pretend like I just came to the store like a few years ago and like, oh yeah, HDRP and URP built in and all that is the normal. It is not the normal. I played Unity when we had the constructor bot, third person. Anybody remember that? I really hope you do. He was the coolest guy. He had his little yellow construction hat and his little hammer, and he'd run around the scene. Those were the best. You remember those days, Messi?
I remember Construction Man. Yes.
Ah, Construction Man was the best. So
Should we announce the winner before we get too far down this rabbit hole? And the winner is St. John Limbo. Now just needs to work out which
St.
characters.
John Limbo. Congratulations.
Don't forget ! Discord in chat. We already know that St. John's
day.
following. Back in my day, we used to have to find somebody who would let you use an Apple Mac to be able to use Unity because it wasn't even working on a Windows machine. How does nobody remember that? There's no, unlike one of the.
And you're very welcome, St. John Limbo.
Like, and you need to leave a review, St. John. You need to leave a review. Does anyone remember
pressure
that?
Them yet, because I always say before you continue, Messi, if you leave a review, don't do immediately. Don't rush it. See the pack for yourself.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm not
don't
saying.
Just be like, oh, I won this in a Messi Coder give. I mean, definitely say
yeah,
that.
you got to say that, but
because that's important.
And you got to put the links in there to advertise.
Yeah,
but
of course,
you need to use it first, but don't wait until you've made a game. Don't take the piss, right?
Yeah.
So load it up, play with it, and leave a review. But bear in mind, I haven't said leave a good review or a bad review, right? It's up to you what your review is. I'm just assuming because you would have seen the quality, it will be a good review. He's got good wood. I've pushed my face up against Max's wood enough times to know it's good. So, yeah, it's good. Good enough for a good review.
Yep.
Back in my day, forward 20 moved a turtle forward by 20 pixels. Oh, I've been asked to do a YouTube tutorial video on Scratch videos, like to show how to make Scratch games. But it's not me that I've been asked to do the video. It's that they want my son to be doing the tutorial. So there you go. There'll be a forward 20. Move your turtle forward 20 paces. Right, which one's next then? I'm going to say High Elves.
Did you say pirates?
High Elves! How was that?
Oh, you said High Elves.
Although Etonics does say this is like the second time in a week that talking with you, Pirates of the Caribbean has come up. So
true.
There you go.
Yeah, no clue.
I try to be informative and list the good points as they occur to me. There you go, Sunshine. Again! See, that's the third time you've had pirates. Right, so which one was next? Was it High Elves? Dark Elves?
Yes.
It is.
You are correct.
There you go. Alright. Should I just reopen the same raffle? Oh no, it won't let me change the name. Okay, I won't do that. Okay.
Yeah, I was just remembering something about my wasteland, and I just looked, and it's hilarious.
What was it?
Remember the old days with the certain someone I had a problem with?
Yes.
As to why I stopped?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my hunch was correct. Every time I updated my pack, they updated theirs right afterwards. And ever since I stopped updating, they disappeared off the face of the earth and haven't updated since.
Look, okay, I'm telling you now, you're allowed to name names. We've got a name and shame on the Discord for that. All right? By the way,
see, I had to look in the asset store first before I do the name because I didn't want it to be someone in here to be like, hey, that's me. I'm like, oh crap, here we go.
No. Like, you know, if well, we're not saying it's fact. We're saying that you've done enough research to see that it's pretty close to be fact.
Yeah.
But
this is fact. But Unity didn't have enough proof, so they couldn't ban them.
Now you've exclamation mark raffle, by the way, the High Elves.
Get that raffle. High Elves pack is easily the best. Look, that one already got to its 3 ratings fast because I begged people. No, I didn't.
Warspawn's done a
They just
review.
actually
Look,
liked it
5-star, amazing pack. Fills you with wonder, sparks the imagination.
You should probably announce these winners. They're probably really hoping for the High Elf. Everyone loves a High Elf. I love how that pack came out.
That's why I'm back on the screen so they can see it. Right.
Oh yeah.
The winner
All the
is
crystals change color.
gosh,
Just so many
crystals.
pretty things.
floating around, all that magic. I think that magic's just being wasted though. Like making the rocks float around. It's like it is a gratuitous use of power. That's why I think that the high elves are oppressors. Are basically the emperor. So
Oh yeah, they're sapping all the energy for sure.
yeah.
They got the fountain of youth and everything.
The winner is Time Lord.
4-time Lord. Congratulations.
Who's been giving me good advice on doing some cool Lego stuff with the kids to be hooked up to Scratch.
That's nice.
High elves. And does that mean that the Dark Elves is the latest one in the fourth in the series? Exclamation mark Max Dark Elves in chat, please. There's a reliable reviewer. Yes, Time Lord is a reliable reviewer.
Because it's a fun time of year, can I give you another voucher to give away?
I could always give another voucher.
Alright.
Thunderstorm, what about the trolls? What about the trolls? The trolls need somewhere to live too.
I mean, trolls, they're sleeping in the mountains. That's okay.
I look. I don't like the law where the trolls just live in the wild without having built up an environment for them to live in. I'm pro troll. We need in no Thul swamp with a cave city. I don't know what that is. Is that a Scandinavian thing?
I think I was typing something.
We got giveaway exclamation mark raffle for that dark elf goodness in chat, please.
So the voucher I sent you, Messi, is another pack that goes very well with everything we're looking at. Hasn't gotten much love only because the type of pack it is. I understand why it hasn't, because there's so many other pack types of said things out there we can look at after. But yeah. Dark Elves is a lovely, lovely, fun time thing. You can have your lovely modular rocks and pieces together. So many different pieces. I think there's over 132 different rock pieces in the pack. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff and things. And before someone leaves a review and they're like, "Oh, I found this issue," there is a slight issue with the pack that I did notice, and it's going to be updated. There's a couple rocks that have a piece missing in the triangle, so you can actually see through it.
Oh.
So whoever wins this, don't be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this thing's broken."
1-star review.
Yeah, right. No, because it's important when the publisher themselves acknowledges that. When I did my stream the other week, I was taking out some of the pieces, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot, you guys. I saw this the other day." There's just a few, like some of the background rocks. There's just like some parts that are just missing. In Blender, they're fine, but in Unity, they just disappeared. Which, like, it's not a biggie because, as you can see in the demo scene, like I just have some rocks, I just blend them with others. It's not a major thing, but it's still important to fix. So, you guys, anyone who currently owns the Dark Elves, I think Jen Purpo, you own that pack. You've probably seen some of the rocks that have like a little bit of like a glitchiness to them. Or not a glitchiness, just like a missing triangle. That will be fixed soon enough. I just have to finish some other things on the priority list of asset stuff. Yeah, you've seen that. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm sure, as you noticed too, like it's nothing big. It's so easy to hide and this and that. But of course, like I'm not just gonna let it go. Let it go. Oh, that's what we did too. We sung Frozen songs on that one long stream.
Yes, we did.
That was great.
Where the lyrics weren't the lyrics.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Can you send me a link in chat in the Discord to the one that you were talking about, so I can just click it?
I figured you'd ask for that.
If you can push with the link in the Discord, then I can click it. Otherwise, I need to search for it on the stream, and that doesn't look professional.
Oh, of course, of course.
Oshin Yoshida, you can't go to bed yet because we've got one more raffle to do. We've got one more raffle.
These are the important ones, so it's okay. I will accept it.
Get that
Thank you,
education.
Cheetah, for the
You got
stream.
like 30
Appreciate you coming.
seconds. 30 seconds to go for this raffle. Actually, 47 seconds. 47
Actually, yeah, true. You're still in the
seconds
middle
to
of this
go.
raffle, so yeah, like you can't leave right this second.
47 seconds. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Come on.
Man, unless they didn't do the raffle thing, it looks like they didn't.
Come on. You can, is Ashino gone to bed?
Definitely going to bed.
I should have just like last message, just walked out the door. Just dropped the mic and boom, went out. But Dom's in the house.
Knowing where you are in
No,
the world,
we should have still.
world,
Must go. Hang on. How many seconds? 12 seconds. Ashino, I swear I will announce the winner as soon as the raffle ends. I will be good this. Ashino's like, look, I know you. I don't trust you. It will be 7 hours after the raffle. Look, there we go.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, it's done. Okay, the winner is Pixel Shenanigans.
Pixel Shenanigans.
Pixel. Now you can go to bed.
Congratulations. I recognize that name.
Shenanigans.
Nice.
Woot! Just in
Enjoy all
time.
the pretties.
Just in time for Ashino to go to bed, and also in time for everyone who's won in January or February. We'll be doing another messy game jam, so you'll be able to use these in your game jam.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now imagine if I get my props pack out by then
Oh.
too. You have enough time to get just tons and tons of little things. You could like put rigid body on all of them, make a game where you just go bowling with props and like just break urns, you know?
God, I love those rigid bodies.
Oh yes.
This is
Like
really
rigor
depressing
mortis.
what you just sent me.
Sorry. What was that?
You just sent me something really depressing.
What do you mean? The fact that there's just no love to it?
0 user ratings and 0 user reviews.
Yep. It's because it's a weapons pack, and
It's
we
been
all
out a
know how many
year.
weapons packs are out there. It's been out for a year. I've sold about a dozen copies of it, maybe a little more.
Oh man, this deserves at least 1 review.
I agree. But you know that's why now we're gonna have a free voucher, so this person can't pass it up. You're getting it for free. You could say, "Hey, I won this at Messy Coders giveaway." I mean, beautiful.
Okay, so exclamation. Oh, hang on. Wait. 1 second. Hang on. I messed it up.
You're about to give out another one for
Okay,
the wrong thing.
there you go. So, exclamation mark raffle. Irish John, you got to do your raffle again. Sorry, Jumper, you got to do your raffle again. Okay. And your waffles again. So,
Yep, Gen Purple's gotta do it again.
got to do it again, Jim Purple. I can't send it again, but you can. You can just type something else, and then you can type. You just like you can say
True.
you can say plop, and then you can go raffle.
Yep.
You just can't.
So yeah, anyways, this
There you go.
pack I understand why it doesn't sell much. I mean, there's so many weapon packs in the store. People are probably like, there's only like 80 weapons or something for $20. It's not worth it. I mean, there are plenty of packs with like a lot of weapons for a
Hang
similar
on, you got
price.
like 70 weapons in this pack. There you go, 70 weapons.
Yeah, I got like the claws. I got the flails with the chains that come off.
The reason why this doesn't sell as much because you need to
No
put a
video.
video on the front of all the 70 weapons dancing about, like magic weapons just dancing, beep, 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 floating about.
I figure I got enough packs on the store that don't need videos for all of them. But you know, this one I don't mind if it's not anything I'm worried about because it was a nice thing I made. It went along with things, but it does match the current series,
Does.
which is nice.
How about you rename it Aquarius Max Fantasy Series Weapons?
I mean, I could.
Like a
'Cause
rebranding.
There's another pack I want to update, which is the poly stylized modular ruins, which is another fun pack. And I don't think anyone knows that exists either. I mean, that just happens because that's just things. But
See, Jim Purvis says, I like that name better for sure. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
There
Yeah,
you
then I
go.
have to update it and add more things to it.
No,
'cause-
you. Oh, God's sake, Max.
What?
You don't need to always add more stuff to things.
Yeah, but you know, fantasy series has got to be epic and stuff. That's how it goes.
Add some particle effects.
Nah, that's too much work. I'm gonna have people message me and be like, "It's not working on URP or HDRP," and I'm like, "Well, that's on you."
Oh man, I've already had messages from other people's assets that I reviewed saying, "Can you make this work on a URP?" I'm like, "No, leave me alone."
See, Gem Purple, that's kind of what I was saying about the whole hand painted thing. 'Cause now you've seen it, like my Dark Elf isn't fully stylized. Those rocks can be used in realistic settings.
Yeah, so I'd say
Don't judge the books by their covers.
so. The new name,
Troll
Aquarius
weapons,
Max Fantasy Series : Weapons.
Yep. No, it's the little dash. I don't use the colon.
What did you have? A dash or a colon?
Little dash.
No, you don't. You've got a colons.
No.
That's not a dash. That's a colon.
Where?
Aquarius Fantasy Series : Orcs.
Oh, I did.
You've got your colon everywhere.
I thought I did a little dash thing.
No, you haven't. You've got your colon out. There, colon.
Wait, maybe I did do that, and no, I guess not. That's confusing.
Not even in the description have you got a
Dark
dash.
elves, orcs, fae.
All of them are colons.
Yeah, I guess I did it that way.
I mean, that's
anyways,
not compatible
there we
a lot
go.
with if you were going to put that out, you know, like in somewhere where it'd get encoded and messed up, where a dash would be more readable. So yeah. You should. Is it too late now to go from colon to dash?
I mean, maybe, but no, the colon is fine. If that's what I did.
You did. You just. You didn't even realize that you were just using your colon.
No, my brain was like, it was a dash. No, I did that.
Chat like,
yep.
He's got his colon and everything. That's nasty.
Yep.
Colon usually makes more sense than dash. It's just that dash is a little bit more readable outside.
It's the late brain. Best excuse.
After the holidays, I'll report this orc pack to HDRP for you. See, this is why I love having Dowie in the stream. Just like, no matter what asset is, and Dowie's like, sure, we'll just get it working HDRP. We'll just use our shaders.
Well, the good thing is my stuff works for the most part, besides the trees that just need a little custom shader work for non-experienced people. Everything else ports over perfectly fine.
Oh, I hate doing anything shadery wise. I just use like people like Dowie's stuff. Like, oh, I need a special shader that does something.
Yeah.
Does Dowie have it? Yeah, he does. I'll just use that.
Yep.
And then I'm like, done.
I remember when you introduced me to Dowie, and we've been talking a little bit, and there's been so many times he's like, you should use my shaders, and I say I'm going to, and then I forget, and I feel horrible about it. And we still talk, and we still message, and I still want to use stuff, and I still just don't, because it's just I don't know, a laziness thing, or I forget. Yep.
No, you can do some.
Okay.
You can do some really
It's
funky
friends,
stuff.
that's the important part. You introduced good friends together. That's the important part, Messi.
That's the whole point.
You bring the world together.
Friendships. We make friendships and family.
Exactly.
Right, should we announce the winner?
Yeah.
The
Simple
winner.
little bonus pack for little weapons. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong. The winner is Irish John Games.
Irish John Games. Perfect.
Now, do you think he's going to leave a review?
Probably not.
Probably not at all, because he's just going to be distracted. Do you know what he's going to be distracted doing?
Drinking? Because he's Irish?
I was not going to go there at all.
Well, I'm part Irish. I understand.
I was not going to go there whatsoever. Like that. Wow, man.
It's Irish John. He good man.
What I was going to say.
He's gonna be doing game dev, so he's gonna be too busy.
No, see. Look, I'm now so distracted. I can't even remember what I volunteered him to do on his stream. He was going to do a live stream showing coding something. Oh, yeah, it was a procedural wax generation.
Oh.
That was it.
Delete your reviews.
Unsubbed, unfollowed, reported, and removing all the Mac stuff from Rise of Piracy. By the way, !RIP in chat. Oh, it's disgraceful.
Yep.
I was
Great
sad
stuff.
to discover that my children are not gonna inherit their Irishness. They're inheriting their Scottish genes because we just don't have enough Irish genes in our family, so that I could say to Irish without me lying to him that, you know, we're all Irish. Because I said to him, they're like, "Oh yeah, but I'm Irish." And he's like, "No, you're not. I'm Irish." But actually, we did that, you know, that ancestry thing, and not enough Irish. We're not enough Irish. We're Scottish. We've got Scottish in there, but it's not the same thing. It's like in Braveheart. You know, the Irish guy come over. They're neighbours, they're cousins, but not really the same thing. How about the easiest icon creation in the store?
True. Very extremely easy pack. I'll start playing with tomorrow.
I don't get what, Mike. What? Easiest.
Etonics is talking about his pack.
Oh.
It's got a very, very easy icon generator creator.
I thought you were talking about your one. I was like, yeah, Max hasn't made anything like that. What have I missed?
Can you get more Irish injected?
I tried to get more Irish injected, but my wife wasn't keen on that idea. Because it involves, I don't know, divorce and remarrying, how it works. But, you know, my kids could marry to get Irish injected into the grandkids. That works. But it's not really... Yeah, it's a bit too late for me, to be honest. You got to live through the grandkids at this point. Thumper stump. So, although I have asked my wife what does she feel about adoption, and we're too old for that. So, Aquarius Max, is there any way to buy all of the Wastelands in one pack? Great question.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. No, there is not. There is no bundle or anything. I even with the whole shenanigans back then, I just kind of, the packs became what they were. I don't want to do bundles. I don't want to do discount things. I tried doing the whole Wasteland 3 discount thing, and then that screwed me over too.
Why are you reminding him about that? I did try to get you
what?
to do some bundles, like you getting your nightmare scenarios of everything going wrong when it comes to Wasteland.
Okay. That's why I have other bundles and things that are magical in their own way.
I like your survival crafter housing and structures pack, by the way.
Yeah, a second pack of that could be fun.
I think it's about time this got like a new lease of life.
Yeah. New survival stuff could be fun, because that was a lot of fun modular building, especially using EBS for a little while too.
Oh, it's got music. You're gonna DMCA me. YMCA.
Da, 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 da.
How long ago did you make these?
You're on the Asset Store page. I don't know.
Oh my god. It's been so long you don't even recall.
Selling a multi-pack, my new store, Sagittarius.
Original 2016. Oh my god.
2016. Oh, look at those rocks. Look at those beautiful rocks. They look like dragon eggs.
I mean, I think I liked the wood in this.
Well, I did too, because at the time it was good.
Yeah.
Now it's not. No, it's actually still really good. Like, the logs came out really cool.
Oh, I know. Thing is, right, when I played about with Angry Mesh, his rocks and the shaders and all the cool grass effects and that stuff that Nature Manufacturer does on his rocks, it feels like you're being spoiled with all those, like, you know, moss and all that stuff and the shader effects and things.
Yep.
So anything that's more than 5 years ago doesn't take advantage of like, modern day shader shenanigans.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of these things too are hard to update because just the way they were done before, it's just better just to make a new pack kind of thing. Like the Ultimate Medieval Constructor, that was another kit, a little challenging to do, but I did recently include an update with the new video, updated a bunch of textures and a bunch of pieces, and that actually was pretty doable. Other ones are just hard to like do because it just kind of becomes its own pack in a way anyways.
This pack was huge.
Yeah, well the new video definitely does justice. You could definitely see the modernness in it and like how much closer it looks to more of my stuff now. But yeah, this is something I also want to bring back maybe in the MMP2 eventually, is the levels of building, because having the whole different houses built in different levels was an awesome feature when I did at the time. You start off with like just the base foundation, then level 2 has like more wood and some stone added, then level 3 has like some shingles and more stone added. It was a really cool thing.
Oh, we just went past the rocks with the moss on.
Yep. Yeah, so these are actually like realistic rocks I put in, updated a whole bunch of textures, added in a bunch of trees, changed a whole lot of fun stuff, so it at least looks better. There's some parts you could just see that the textures are just off because it's just the way they were unwrapped at the time. But yeah, no, definitely, I'm happy that this pack is brought back to a little bit of fun now.
How many assets you got in the store now?
Too many.
That's...
One man army with all of these assets. Too many.
Do you feel like, let's go to the 96 on the view results. Do you feel like you gonna stop doing as many assets and just like go to like maybe a couple a year and have like these huge epic ones, or are you gonna be churning out more smaller packs?
I'm gonna just be making assets for a while. I mean, it would be nice to work on other things and not just do asset work forever. But I really like doing this. So it could be big packs, could be small packs. I'm not doing many super crazy ultimate packs anymore because they're a lot of work, a lot of time consuming, a lot of expectations. So yeah, I definitely want to do more small packs here and there. The Wonders of Yggdrasil. This was such a fun pack. Fine mix between fantasy and sci-fi.
I think you should have won that competition. I'm just saying.
I also agree, and you're making me want to rage right now. I literally lost to a professional company who had multiple people on their team and made their pack free. I lost to that. Me, I'm a one-man team and alone, and not a AAA company thing, and I lost.
You should have at least got an honorable mention or something.
I call that cheating. Yep.
It's like watching Argentina play in the World Cup. It is cheating.
Yes. Well, even I'm gonna say a name right now, and I mean no harm by it. Astrofish Chris. I love him. He's an awesome dev. Like, he's actually a friend of mine, so I'm not saying anything bad about him. But in a way, I call him cheating because his work is so incredibly good, because he has the experience of working with other things other than just like being an indie developer. So it's like he's cheating in a sense, and that's why I'm referencing that. But yeah, as I'm sure many of you have seen or own his work is freaking gorgeous. Gorgeous. And I'm so happy he's on the asset store.
But I say that friendships like that have helped you develop considerably in that time. I mean, that's what I love about the asset store.
Well, when he actually came to the asset store too, he was doing what anyone would do. He was messaging people, asking us about the asset store. I think I was one of the few people he actually reached out to, or one of the first people he reached out to ask about the store. And I was one of the first people to see his work before anyone else saw it, and I feel privileged there. And I'm actually happy that now he's gotten to this point where he's probably jumped above me in such a short time. And I'm actually really happy for that when I see that with people, because I always encourage people to sell on the store and like do that. Yeah, it's nice.
I thought I had a command for fish.
You don't. That's so sad.
I
thought you did.
I know.
Well,
So
your commands have been breaking on you a lot lately.
a lot of them got purged, and I don't know how.
Yeah, I think it's just the updating of the software. Because if you're still using the same thing that I used last time, and when I did my stream, I tried doing the raffle, and it was totally broken. So my raffle did not work, and I had to do a random number generator, which still worked. It worked out good, but it was tedious. Sometimes updates just like breaking things.
Do love to break things.
But yeah, this Unity fun stuff is all about making friends, and if anybody is not out to make friends, well, then you're just gonna be grumpy.
There's no space for you here if you don't want to be friends.
Exactly. Especially like anyone who's with Unity, if they don't know Messi, they're missing out. So you are like the idol of the community, you know? So it's good to have, you're like the middleman where everyone comes together and meets people through you.
You're just making me blush. What I love is that even when I'm like indisposed or incapacitated or out, the Discord, Discord in chat, just carries on living. Like doesn't even notice that I'm there or not there. I'm like not even relevant, and that's what I want. It's the community that drives it and builds it all together. And Chris is saying, any chance the Old Town kit will be graphically updated?
Yeah, I just typed saying I'll answer that. I was waiting for you to finish. Yeah, that's another one of those kits. It's not gotten any love, so I'm probably just gonna like lower the price soon again and just like keep it. It doesn't do enough to have the time to want to spend on it.
Which
but
one?
even like things like that, it's gonna be pretty far down.
There it is.
What is the Old Town kit exactly? It's a kit that I made a while ago.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at that. When was that? Original?
I made, like no sales on that.
2016, I'm gonna guess. 2017.
Probably made less sales on this than I did in the World War Trenches, and this was actually really nicely done at the time too.
0 reviews? 0 reviews.
Oh yeah, 0 reviews for sure.
Oh wow. Always breaks my heart when I see that. It's not even my assets.
Yeah, when you look at the video is nicely done. There's a full environment and everything.
Boban, that's what I said, okay? And this is before he had like twice as many, okay?
Well, this is before I knew about post-processing too.
So Bobman's asking, is having too many packs, especially including the old ones, does it make more harm than good? Now, this is why I was a big advocate of removing the old ones that you wouldn't have as advertising your quality. Pardon me. But Max made a very clear point that one person's
one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. And people like the old stuff, very performant, and some people were getting it for that reason. You know, they weren't needing this kind of look, or that's what they were after. And the quality of the old stuff, it's still viable. It's good, and it would work in your game. It's not like his older stuff where he still hadn't worked out what UVs were, or like had to open up Blender. Those ones have gone.
Well, yeah, because that's how it was when I started. Like Town Creator Kit, which is no longer existent. Actually, I think the Town Creator Kit Lite is still on the store, the free one. That was my first kit ever. I didn't know how to UV unwrap things. Because back then there wasn't really many YouTube tutorials either. Like now, like especially you, Vertex Rage. Like I'm so happy that you're getting into modeling and stuff. You've been doing awesome sci-fi stuff for like the past year. But like if you started when I started, like without any knowledge or friends of this community, there is no way to learn. I just had to kind of trial and error and be like, okay, that's this, that's that. So I'm jealous of people now learning because there's just millions of YouTube videos now.
Oh yeah, Bob had stuff in the showcase and the Discord. Mind blowing.
Yeah, Vertex Rage's stuff's coming out really nicely.
I remember learning 3D modeling and stuff. I wish I could proceed at that.
You have financially depressed area.
What's Chris saying?
True.
I suppose you could use both human towns in the same way and make the old town kit a financially depressed area.
I mean, that, yeah, Old Town kit was made to be kind of like old wood, kind of run down things here and there. There's
So
those beautiful anti-messy lanterns. It's
Dowie
before the
says,
days.
"Oh, I love your lanterns that were solid objects. Let's take everything pre 2017 and make it HDRP." Now, I fully support you of that. Now, if you look at the difference of how your workflow is, like we're cutting up now because we've got to go to bed. But I
Yeah,
was
no,
at-
of course, of course.
what I love is when I see different artists and how they work. So Aquarius Max's workflow very different to reversed int workflow, and two of my, like really coming up to some of my favorite artists on the Asset Store. You and reversed int, love your stuff, but like I can imagine reversed int would, instead of making the lantern as having a 3D object inside the glass planes of the lantern, he would have made some kind of shader trick of being able to see the lamp inside the lantern, of doing it. And it amazes me to see different artists using different technologies to try and solve the same problems.
Yep.
And that's what I love about the Asset Store. It's not like, one's right and one's wrong, one's better and one's worse. It's that they're different and they work. And what works for one, perfect. And the other great thing is, because you've bought them from the Asset Store, you can then dissect them and see how they did it and learn from it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Is it pre-messy wood quality?
Yeah, that was definitely pre-messy wood quality. I don't even think there's normal maps on those.
Oh wow.
No, wait, there's normal maps on those. That was 2018.
No, it's like
Right.
we were doing stuff. We were talking 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, because actually, I think I started my Discord in 2017, and I started Unity stuff in 2014, I think. Yeah, 8 years of fun. Been a fun 8 years. But yeah, I
Amazing.
like keeping this stuff. I mean, all my prices for old packs, I've at least over time, every like half a year to a year, I lower their prices, because why not? And
Yep.
a lot of the stuff I have either free now that used to not be free. And I just say in the thing, hey, this is a very old kit, but feel free to use it, because why not? Some stuff is still like $5 or something, because it still has some value and some worth to it. So I don't like getting rid of things, because it's always being used. Even the Ultimate Fantasy Creator people still use for the caves, because you did the cave review. And
Oh, yeah.
that alone is the pack right there. Everything else is just crap now.
That
the
cave
caves
was
are
lovely.
beautiful.
What I like to say is, and I just make a point, I really don't like Asset Store publishers who drastically lower prices, like, overnight. And I love the fact that you depreciate from the value, not like they depreciate in quality, but the value of what you're selling them depreciating over time correctly, because people who've bought them, they're just going to be frustrated the next day and they find it's dropped down drastically in price, but it's going down gradually over the years, and that makes it more in line with what people are expecting of the quality, and as the years go on. I love it, and I applaud you for it.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's common retail. I mean, you look at a video game that you love and you want to buy it 2 years later. Well, it's gonna be a little bit lower price over time, and that's the way retail is normally, in a natural way. So I like to at least, do it right and not make people mad. And watching make games, the ME Town Creator and the ME kits, I don't remember if they're the same or less quality than Old Town kits. I don't want to say the same. There's kind of like year gaps. Like I kind of go every 3 years and it kind of stays. So like right now I'm in this stylized, realistic PBR, nicely detailed and prop stuff. And then the other 3 years were like kind of a fine mix of some detail but some not, and then like that. So I think the ME kits are fairly similar with that. Let's make Old Town great again.
Let's make the Old Town great again. And Bob's saying, Max's packs are like wine. You should raise the price with time.
Yeah, right.
That would be lovely. Max,
I mean, the Ultimate Fantasy Creator used to be $100, so I'm
Wow.
glad that's not anymore. Anyways, yeah.
thank you so much for coming in, buddy, and sharing the joy of Christmas, giving all these lovely presents away to all the lucky winners. Nick Dollars, St. John Limbo, full-time non-pixel shenanigans, and Irish John, who's won your weapons, although you've lost his heart by saying that he's a bit distracted drinking. But never mind.
Don't remind him. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. We're all good. Thanks for letting me hang out too. It's always fun, Messi.
Do you know what you need? We need to be playing next, and now that we're allowed, so we're allowed to stay up late playing
You're
games.
welcome, John.
Take it easy, he says. He's forgiven you. So yeah, I'm inferring that he's forgiven you.
Oh, of course. It's an Irish thing. You wouldn't understand. Just kidding.
If it was Scottish, I would, but it's Irish, so we're not. All right, everyone chat saying very enjoyable, nice interview. Thank you, great hearing you again. Jane, thank you so much for being in. Love when I hear your beautiful voice again. And we'll be talking Scottish old ladies no time, I'm sure of it. Max, you decide which game we're going to be playing. One that does actually have some live servers would be good. Very sad to hear about Miscreated.
Sounds good.
Maybe Valheim then. Buddy, you be safe.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
What a beautiful badger. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.